Hey, everybody, welcome to a very exciting episode. I've been looking to this episode for a very long time. We have with us masterminds, awesome directors, actor, actress. I mean, you name it, they're it. There's not no one out there that can do what these people do. We're talking with Sam and Johnna Hodge. How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good.
Feeling pretty fantastic.
Pretty happy now. Yeah.
Good to
Oh,
see
yeah.
you.
Great to see you.
Oh, it's my honor. It's my privilege. And trust me, I'm humbled you guys have decided to come on to this show because, yes, Redhead was fucking awesome.
Thank you so much.
Cool. I'm so
Thank you.
we're so flattered. I mean, we've talked about it. You know, your review made us kind of wet, and we love it.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Oh my
oh,
God.
you're most welcome. I do want to say the one thing we'll get the rating because it's got a new rating. We'll get that right out the way. So I rate everything 1 to 10, and for 2025, it received its first 10 was Redhead, but it is now in my Hall of Fame. So
Oh
once
my,
it's there, it never comes out. So
oh my gosh.
Well, hell yeah, man.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, thank
much.
you,
Oh
thank
my
you.
gosh.
you
That
know it.
means so much to me. So much, especially what all we went through making it. Thank you so
So
much.
you've given it a rewatch, huh?
Oh, about 20 times.
Oh my, you're so fabulous. Thank you so much.
And the
Wow.
funny thing is every time I've watched it, I saw something new that I didn't see previously. You know, and it was a phenomenal movie. I love blood and gore. I love practical effects, and you guys nailed all that pretty much awesomely. I don't see any flaws in the movie you guys made, and that's God's honest truth.
Well, thank you.
Well, I mean,
Thanks a lot.
I mean, I see all the flaws because I've seen the thing, 1,000 or so times and examined every single frame of it. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I appreciate you saying that because where it took so long for us to make Redhead, in between of us having to make the other movies that we had to make in between, and how long of a gap between the 3 years, and then all the craziness that happened to trying to stop it, when my pug died, and then me almost dying, all this. So there's so much crazy stuff that always was in the way happening. And I'm just excited that, it actually got made because of what all we went through trying to make it. And we had so many obstacles trying to stop us. So I see how the time, I kind of, I guess when I watch it, I remember the time gaps and how much we had to concentrate on making it look exactly like it just
Yeah.
happened. The only scene that wasn't really like that was the scene where I was in the warehouse, and I had just killed Eric, the guy that dropped his balls, and then we was in there and we did where I pulled the body out and the same night. Then we went and did where I was stabbing his dead body the same night. I had rocks and stuff in my knees from that scene because I wanted it to be realistic.
She had her knees on the
Um,
ground and she was like in concrete dust and gravel.
and gravel. So I made it realistic so that whenever I got up, you'd actually, all the other stuff was, blood and everything, but my legs actually had rocks still in them in the scene where I'm getting ready to disembowel.
It's funny
The
because visually when you see that the blood is like there, and then all of a sudden there's like a straight line and it stops. And the reason it stops is because that's all concrete dust on her knees. It looks kind of it looks silly, but it's more real than if you just douse her with blood.
So that was probably one of the coolest scenes that was straight to where we was just going like, okay, we're going to get this whole thing done tonight because we gave ourselves a deadline at that point was
Well, that
like,
was that was the same way you killed Dave.
that was
Dave,
what I
Dave,
was getting
Dave,
ready to
David.
say.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was getting ready. Well, that's when I killed Dave, the nosy neighbor that decides to come up and see what I'm doing. And I strangle him with his intestines.
When
But
we
that
play
was a
tug of war.
long night, and it was a very long night. And we're used to long nights, but that was crazy. But it was so fun. And it felt rewarding because we thought, well, we got so much of this accomplished in one night that
And
that we was up. I think we went home about 6 in the morning or something like that.
well,
And we had been there since, oh, um, I'd say probably was there 13 hours or something, but we was used to that stuff, but it was kind of crazy for Redhead doing that.
well, and they staggered into their hotel with him covered in blood because they live near Virginia Beach. Um, and anytime anybody comes in to film something and they go back to their hotel just covered in
Everybody was such a champ with this movie.
Poop and blood.
They were all cool with whatever, because they knew when they was going to get around us, they was going to be, real bloody because that's how we are and stuff. And they was like, oh, do whatever, we're up for everything. And it was just so cool. Everybody was awesome.
People sacrifice themselves when they really believe in what you're doing. And we've been seeing that a whole lot. Like, I mean, sometimes, I've worked on some things where people weren't even willing to get like a t-shirt dirty or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But the people that have worked, nobody has complained about anything.
No.
They're like, because when we tell them like what they're getting ready to do, they're just like, fuck it, man.
They're so cool and they're so great. Everybody that's in the movie, I felt like did a great job on acting, but and the performance, and they were just great people. Everybody,
Yeah.
I love them so much.
Oh yeah. So I want to say that this is still the bloodiest movie I've seen this year, and I love that.
Well, good.
Makes me so happy. Thank you.
I mean, that's an achievement.
Oh yeah. I mean, the beginning was kind of like the perfect storm because it was a calm before the storm. Yeah, you guys were being held hostage and all that, and the emotion was coming out. But once that first on screen kill happened, it was balls to the wall crazy, and that was phenomenal. And it, to me, you guys achieved what I thought that The Shining was trying to achieve with the elevator scene, but by tenfold, which is awesome.
Thank you.
I have a tendency when I'm running things, I like to get lots of angles, and I don't like to skimp on blood. And through the editing, I'm like, I want to see every angle that I can of like this thing, happening, and I want to, cut to the killer. I want to cut to the victim. I want to cut to the wound. I want to cut back to the object. I want to cut back to the killer. I want to cut to the victim, and I want to cut to any observers. I mean, it's like I want to draw out and make it gratuitous. And
yeah, he's fun because it's kind of funny sometimes when people don't know about how he is yet, and then they find out, but they still enjoy it because he's fun. We're fun the whole time, but they'll be like, okay, and he'll say another angle, another angle, another angle, another angle, and he said, but the thing is, everybody, I guess, gets used to it because it's kind of fun, and we want to be professional but fun, but nobody's complained about that either. Yeah. They all was great about it.
Well, so the thing about having blood spraying on camera is that if it looks like you're seeing like, maybe a pint of blood coming out of somebody, you're using a gallon because it's moving past the camera at a certain frame rate, and as it passes by, you're seeing the stream, and man, that stream looks like it's not very much, but it's a lot. Like, I mean, you're using a whole deck sprayer of blood for 5 seconds of spraying somebody in the face, and
which is something I like. I like being sprayed in the face with blood. I just keep saying, go on, keep going, keep going.
So I do a little bit of research whenever I have a guest on because I like to kind of just pick their mind a little bit too. But so the way this movie came about, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys were at a bar and some dudes were like mistreating women, and you guys just started talking about, hey, how would you kill him? How would you kill him? Is that correct?
Not just women, her. Like, I mean, so we were going to do it. It was going to be called Meat. The movie was going to be called Meat.
Well, it was first we did a short to start with which we kind of called Taste of Revenge. It was a short. We did it for a film festival. It was a 5-minute short, and when we did it, it was me and Ashley, and it was in that scene. It was just me and Ashley for that short.
Dina was in that too.
And, oh yeah, Dina was in it, and everybody loved it. But we didn't win the thing because they always pick their own students there in the college. They don't pick any of the people that really want to try to make something good.
We did it intentionally.
We did it just so that it was like,
we made it so nasty they wouldn't.
They're going to end up hating this because there's so much blood and nastiness and cussing words in it. So there you go. And so everybody afterwards was like, well, I want to see more of this.
I want to see a feature.
I want to see a feature. So then that's when we decided, okay, if you want to see a feature, we're going to figure out what we're going to do to give this even a bigger story because we didn't give it a full story since it was a 5-minute thing. So we was pretty much we would go to a bar and get something to eat or something and just spend some quality time together. And then there would be men across the street saying, "Hey, Red, hey, Red," and they'd be hollering
That
at
was the
me.
night we changed it to Redhead.
And that's the night he said, "It's not going to be neat. It's going to be Redhead," because everybody always hollers at you all the time, says Red, or, "Hey, Redhead." And that was like the perfect name then. And that's what we went with.
Some people think that storyline is unrealistic, but man, we see it.
Yeah,
all
we
the
had
time.
one.
They follow her from the gas station. They follow her from Walmart. She has people following her down the road if I'm not with her.
Yeah, we
It's
had
crazy.
a movie reviewer that one time said that they didn't think that the story was, realistic or anything. But of course, it's a horror movie. It's not going to have to be realistic. But at the same time, this kind of is realistic as far as some of the stuff I've really went through. I just didn't kill them. But it's kind of crazy
All right.
because it was based on all that.
All right. You have my word. I'm not going to stalk you. I mean, on social media because I'm waiting for
You don't have nothing to
Redhead
worry
too.
about. I'm a lovey-dovey person for real.
Oh yeah.
it could not, the Autumn Blacksmith character could not be more far from who Johnna is in real life. But I will say that her actual inner demons, they do come out on screen. I mean,
It's
and
my
mine,
past.
mine come out in the writing. We we have really traumatic childhoods, and
And just past in general too. And
when people mess with us like that, it helps us to vent. And instead of getting in trouble and hurting somebody, we go home or sit there and we say, what would you do to that
and we
person?
just write something else in the script.
And if we know their name, we put their fucking name as the character.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Before we go any further, I love the shirt. Return of the Living Dead is my favorite zombie movie of all time.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, yeah. She's actually really good friends with Linnea Quigley, and they talk frequently, and the girl to girl, and the first time they met, they hit it off real good, and it returns a great movie.
Little known, unknown secret. So I have a bucket list of people that I would love to talk to, or if I get the chance to interview. Linnea Quigley is my number one. I swear on everything I love. Like I saw Return of the Living Dead. I was like, I am sold. So
well,
her attitude in the movies.
I'll definitely message her and tell her that you're interested in reviewing her and doing a podcast with her, and I'm sure she'd reach out to you. I'm sure she will.
If you do that, yeah. I swear to God, I'll let you kill me 50 times over in any movie you make.
Well, you might have to go through her agent, because her agent is.
But I will still let her know, with Messenger, and let her know about it, and right. Maybe she can make something happen for you, because that would probably make her happy, tickle her death.
Because Linnea had her share of stalkers.
Oh yeah, that's why she had to get rid of her original Facebook account. Because of that.
So her agent is very strict with kind of what she does, and rightfully so. Because I mean, you got these guys at horror conventions that just throw out trash talk about what she's done in movies and everything else, and it's like, man, she's a human being. Like,
she's an actress, a respectable actress,
she's an advocate for animals. She's a wonderful person, and she's the age of my mother. Like, she's a beautiful person inside and out. And
yes, she is. She's really one of the most beautiful people. She really is that I've ever met, as far as actress wise, as being an icon.
She's getting a little taste of that stalking too. I mean, the craziness. There's the once you get out there, the messages that people send are ridiculous.
All right. Well, I do want to say that you guys have created, in my opinion, the next icon.
Well, thank you.
I mean, I think she can stand on her own, and I mean, her name is really cool. Tell him how you came up with the name Autumn Blacksmith.
I came up with that because I have two sons, and they're in their 20s, and they're beautiful, and I love them to death. But I always wanted to have a little girl after I had my boys, and so I ended up having cancer, uterine cancer, and then so I had to have a hysterectomy, and I didn't get to have my little girl, and I was going to name her Autumn because I figured maybe I'd have a little redheaded little girl. And it didn't happen. So I was like, well, I want my character then to be Autumn, because that's what I always wanted my little girl to be. So I'll live through what I always wanted as a little girl and make it this badass woman here and change things around. And then we was thinking about what last name we wanted. And in the Taste of Revenge, it was Autumn Taylor. And I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. It's not powerful
Didn't
enough.
have a boom to it.
I want something powerful for her because she's going to be kind of like a crazy woman, and she's going to be turned into a villain, and she's got to have a powerful. So then I come up with Blacksmith and thought, Blacksmith, that's it. And so he looked at me and said, that's a great name.
Oh, dudes, you think about blacksmith and you automatically associate strength and hammer and steel and heat.
Yeah.
And also history, and people depend on blacksmiths. So it's like, I thought, wow, that's memorable as fuck.
He loved
and
that.
It's not only a name, but it's also a title. It's a name and a title of a job that people have had for centuries. And I mean, it's incredibly recognizable, and it helps. I think the character sing.
Yeah,
the name works.
Right. I would be an unjust host if we didn't talk about Puggles.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Like I had a pug, he passed away, and then we got a Dachshund, she passed away, and now we got a pit bull. Don't ask me how that combination worked, but it did.
Oh, I'm so sorry you lost your babies. It's the hardest thing because they're your kids too.
Oh yeah.
So much.
I just want to say that for anybody who's going to see this episode, and trust me, I have a feeling this is going to be a very popular episode. This episode, I would like, if it's okay with you guys, to dedicate it to Puggles.
That's more than okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. She was the daughter that I didn't get to have to me, was that baby.
Oh yeah. And I see that in the Chainsaw in Part 2, Puggles is, she's making a return.
Yes. I'll go ahead and kind of let you in on something about that while the Chainsaw's Puggles, because we don't care to give away some things. There's so much craziness in the second one anyway.
Well, you can't promote a movie if you don't give away stuff.
But in the beginning of the movie, it starts from the end of one, immediate.
After she kills
picked
me.
Up. So we made me look exactly the way that I looked at the end of one, and I'm going upstairs. And next thing I know, the whole demon has made sure that my baby was dead, and that even though I was killing for the demon and for the devil, which I had made pacts with, but nobody knew yet till in the second one. So when I find her dead, I'm very devastated. So at that point, I hated everything to do with how evil I had become, but I had no choice. So I really grieved her and shot myself in the head and killed myself. And I went to hell. And then that's when I have to face everything from the things I had done in one. I'm facing I go through some terrible, crazy things. I also have to go through a hell's whorehouse, experience big, powerful demons there. Some of my past victims with these whores trying to hold them back from coming to get me. It's going to be wild. It's going to be so much more wild. And the effects in this one is 10 times, maybe, what'd you say, 20 times more than what it was.
It's a lot more difficult. I mean,
and organs at work that he's made.
Some
craziness.
some reviewer put that they didn't like the fact that we didn't see enough of the kills in Redhead.
But we tried to show all.
And I'm like, man, we see a fucking shotgun blow somebody's head off. We see a guy's testicles pop out of his nutsack when the knife comes out of his ass.
You also see me take her head off, but you see me cutting her head to scalp her, like you see about everything. But you see the chainsaw kind of going in Travis, getting ready to go in Travis.
I said, all right, fuck it. You guys want more? We'll give you more.
So now you're going to see like everything. He's made bodies so you could see the chainsaw actually go in there. Everything. It's nuts.
Well, as you can see, I'm growing out my George mustache again. I'm trying to let my hair grow out so it looks like shit, because somebody asked during our premiere, is that a fucking hairpiece? And I said, that's my goddamn hair.
Hey.
Yeah. They were like, did you shave the middle? And I was like, no, it's just like, I'm Jack Nicholson. I got the Jack Nicholson do, man. Like, leave me alone. So
Brad's with us now. How you doing, Brad?
Amazing. How you doing, buddy?
what's
All
up,
right.
Brad?
Hey, everybody. Nice to
Uh,
digitally see you in person.
oh yeah. Everybody who's going to see this episode, this is Brad Lyon, and he owns the B Stream, right?
That's right.
All right. I'm gonna be a very big fan of yours because I love, just anything that is not Hollywood. That's just me. uh,
Well, I can't promise you that all of our films haven't been produced out of the Hollywood equation once or twice, but we do cater to a lot of great independent filmmakers and have just a lot of really original, fun content on there that you're not going to find in a lot of places,
Yeah.
uh,
such as their film.
oh yeah. Redhead, like I said, I've told them, phenomenal movie. It's in my Hall of Fame. Uh, I actually did have a fan question for you, Sam, and it comes from my wife, which is odd because she can't stand horror movies.
Women love Redhead, though. Whether they like horror or not, we've seen that women can get on board
Yeah,
with
I
a bunch
was
of
really
dudes
shocked
getting
about that. That some of the women said, I watched it and I hate horror, but when I watched it, I loved it because this woman was getting revenge and I loved it.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
that's the same reason people love films like, I Spit on Your Grave. It's about these strong characters who went through tragic moments and then
Yeah.
became more powerful because of it. And a
Yes.
lot of times you don't see those characters to where, like, oh, we get this last moment where the final girl just happens to win. This isn't that case. This is the case where you've got this powerful character that becomes powerful and stays powerful throughout a period of time.
Yes.
growth from trauma, man,
Oh yeah.
and it just gets worse.
Oh yeah. So the fan question or my wife's question, whichever way you guys want to look at it, she said, and I'm going to quote as much as she said because she's long winded. She said, when you were writing this script and everything that you were putting into it, what was the one thing that you definitely wasn't going to break on and had to be in the movie, whether it was a scene, a dialogue, or anything like that? She said, what was the one thing you were concrete that was not going to be taken out of the movie?
Show the inside of a man's test, like scrotum. So there's a couple other movies that show genital mutilation, and they very much kind of look hokey, fake. I mean, it's like somebody saw a rubber dick or whatever. But this, I wanted literally to like. So this knife is huge. I mean, it's a big, big, long knife. Imagine that going up in you from the bottom, and it's going to go like way up. It's not only like tearing up your genitals, like it's going through your stomach. Like I mean, it's getting it, maybe piercing your diaphragm into your lungs. So that exquisite pain right there is enough for a lot of people and put some blood coming out. But no, I wanted to see like what happens when she pulls out the knife. I want to see those testicles from inside the sack drop, and I had to have that. It was just and it's a gleeful moment every time we go to a screening because they drop and people are like, oh, and then all of a sudden she grabs them and people are like, oh, and then she rips them off and they're like, whoa, and then they put them in her mouth or she puts them in his mouth and then they're all like, because it's like this little symphony. I mean, it's a very interactive audience movie. And I just was not willing to sacrifice on the violence and the gore. That was every scene, everything we could do to show what was happening. And the same with my junk that got eviscerated. I wanted to have some blood spatter and spray. But it's same token. I wanted to, even though I could have just as easily blown a guy's head off with a simple cutaway, and then showed him laying on the floor. I wanted to see it pop off. Like that was the other thing. I wanted to see the movement of her actions, and I wanted to see her going bow and it go like that is important. And if you're an indie film and you don't have a budget, the only thing you have is time. So take your fucking time. Quit listening to people rushing you trying to get the movie made.
Yeah.
When can we see it rated? When can we see? We heard it's good. When can we see it? Well, when it's fucking ready.
Yeah. We had a lot of people telling us, but they didn't know, that we wanted to take our time, but then we also had a lot of things going on in between.
Death and near death, and
then we made some other movies, and But at the same time, I'm so glad that it did take so long. Because it wouldn't be the same movie if we didn't take our time so much with it.
Well, the other thing that I didn't waver on, and she'll tell you this, she was concerned when we were getting close to wrapping the movie that age was going to start becoming a factor at the end of it if we went the festival route. And I said, no, if we don't go the festival route, this is all for nothing because we'll go straight to streaming. Nobody will know what the fuck it is. I said, let's go and put it out there and spend the money, get it put in.
I'm so glad we did.
Submitted to festivals, and maybe we'll catch an award or two. By God, we got 10 awards and 25 other nominations, and we got to travel the United States. And we played on four countries.
I'm so glad we did.
And so we and I kept preaching, we're building value on this. We're building value.
Well, you didn't have to preach it much after I started seeing the awards.
She changed her mind after the first award.
Time when we got our first award, which was the first one that we went to, I was like, oh my gosh. And I was emotional, like, oh my gosh, all this is paying off. You're right. Like
it was so important to us. It was so important to us, and it was a passion project. This was, our love together as man and wife into one singular item.
Yeah,
it's got to last and stand the test of time. Why just throw it out there, straight to streaming and disappear amongst everything else that's out there? Let's put some accolades on it. Let's get some praise. Let's show people that in person.
If I can build on that for half a second, if it wasn't for the fact that they did take the festival route, which isn't often like the answer to gain distribution, in this case it was. They built such a buzz that on my streaming service, we actually had people who had heard about Redhead who went to what we call the Hive, which is our kind of like social media element, where you actually can go on there, communicate with others, and in this case said, hey, have you heard about Redhead? I love this movie. It's on the festival circuit. Can you check it out? And all of a sudden, we're hearing all this buzz on Redhead. So we reached out and we actually licensed this film. So because of the direction they took, we found out about it and were able to license it.
Oh gosh!
And we appreciate everything, man. Everything you do is so personal, and like we were saying before you came on, what other owner of a streaming service gets on and really interacts personally with film directors of films that they like?
Yes, I mean that doesn't ever happen.
That shit isn't. That's just not a thing.
No.
And
you've been amazing. We love you to death.
I think that's going to help you win. I think
it is. It really is.
It's
as you can see me, I'm knocking on wood right now. It's just below the screen. But thank you. That's super kind. And that's the thing. That's what the B stream's about. I actually didn't even think about this when we named it because it was supposed to be purely about B movies. But as I was curating our lineup, because we really handpick all these films, like the films that are on there are good, fun, great films. A lot of times films that don't have the eyeballs that actually get on the quality of the film it is. And the funny part is people are like, oh, is it really B movies or is it Brad movies? I'm like, oh, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, like, these really are the movies that I love and want to get behind, whether they're brand new films like Redhead or classics that somehow, got overlooked like Cemetery Man. I think
that's a magazine. That's a fun movie. Yeah. Cemetery Man is such a fun Italian flick.
And how do people how did some of these films not become a major cult hits? Like a lot of us in the industry know the Demon franchise, right?
Oh, that is my love. Demons and Demons 2. Oh.
So you guys have seen her shots of her as a demon in part 2, right?
The demon hybrid
with the teeth and everything.
The demon hybrid in 2.
It was very much a love letter to that moment is a love letter to demons when the thing bursts out of the guy's back.
You guys did an awesome job on the special effects makeup on that.
This demon right here is a love for me. I love this since a kid. I've loved this demon, and I told him, I said, I have to for the because we wrote the second one together, and I came up where I wanted to be a demon hybrid and come out of the ground to show her more powerful and changing because I always want her to evolve. Mm-hmm. And he was like, and so he built a custom set so that I could go and actually come out of the ground and everything. And I wanted it instead of it coming out of the person like it did in the movie, she's coming out of the ground because she is coming out of hell. And she comes back and she's a whole changed person, more powerful. She's got more She can rip somebody's heart out. She can do some crazy
She can actually
stuff.
use her hand and stop people in this, like
stop people. I mean,
and like crush them, like if she wants. I mean,
so when I come back, I'm more powerful than ever. I'm able to do some crazy stuff to organs and.
Well, make sure we have that on the B stream. We can't miss the sequel.
There's a lot of Hellraiser. There's a lot of Hellraiser inspiration in both movies, especially like. So I don't know if you guys noticed in the first movie, but like when the hag is standing at her bedroom door, and she's like in bed, and it interrupts her. Like you get that white light and fog coming, fog blowing past her using fans and stuff. I love the image of a demon coming out with white light and fog blowing past it because, and this I'm a Christian person, but the idea of white light in the presence and presenting of demons is the ultimate mockery of good, I think, because it's white and it's like, whoa, why are they white? Well, I mean, they were once angels. I mean, it's kind of it's this presence, and it's not the typical red, light coming out from behind a demon. That's kind of okay. It's obvious. It's low hanging fruit, but go for white and present it, and do a whole body makeup, present it in a way that people kind of get uncomfortable just enough to make them think. And then with this shit, in part 2, there's 10 times the amount of hell that, and our vision of hell, I think, it's terrifying to me because it's
really crazy.
It's nothing and everything at the same time. That's hell for me. It's not. It looks like nothingness, but everything's there.
And we show so many different areas and scenes of hell in this. It's pretty wild. And we've already shot some of it too.
There's your scene.
The balls have dropped.
Every time.
I do want to say that and when the hag is standing in a doorway, I mean, I see the Hellraiser reference, but I kind of referenced that with another movie that kind of a lot of people just don't really talk about, and that's the church door scene from Prince of Darkness.
We love.
That's
heavily inspired too. I mean, that's there.
Yes, we love that so much.
I think what does it. There's a behind the scenes shot of me holding an oscillating fan and a fog machine, like hitting record and running in there while she's standing in the door because she's the hag. Me hitting record, running across the bedroom, going past the sheets, and then pulling them past me, and then holding an oscillating fan and a fog machine and blowing it like to where like the fog is blowing in. Because we literally, I mean, for most of we had some brilliant help from Travis Robinson, Dina Leslie, and Scott Myers, and
that was in the movie, and they helped too.
Josh Atkins helped. But for the most part, it's me and her.
It's me and him
as crew. I mean,
I'd say 80% of the movie. It was
probably more than that.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was me and him just working together as a couple to get this thing done.
I run around like a chicken, and if I don't hit my bald head on some fucking stand sometime, trying to get under it, like the C stand knocks me in the head almost every time we're shooting.
We had some great people that come in, like when Evan Mackey came in and Justin Fox, and they came in a long way just to be here to do the movie with us.
Evan Mackey's been on several seasons of The Walking Dead. He's been on Fear the Walking Dead. He's been on a bunch of other stuff recently. I mean, he's been around and he needs to kind of climb. So Evan is the guy that walks up in the backyard and says, nice looking dog, which comes from Terminator 2. It's a good looking boy. And he says, it's a good looking dog. you almost want to hear it.
And it's like you want to tell him in that scene, you better just leave because you're messing with dangerous territory when you said that she's telling you to leave. Then leave.
Well, so in the premiere of that movie, it was funny because people were like, "Oh fuck, dude, walk away." But she just killed everybody else, and like as soon as he walks, she's having her one moment of peace in the movie with her little daughter that she just found, her beautiful pug, and then this jackass walks up and he's like, "I want to fuck her." That's a bad idea. Like,
I'll never forget the first premiere we had here. We had a big backdrop with pictures, and there was 300 and some people here for it. And it was really amazing. Well, there were some young boys that came that I never met before. But whenever we was leaving after we took that down, those boys were so terrified of me. They were going, "Oh my God, it's her! Oh my God!" And they was like freaking, and they was running around and stuff. And I was like, "No, no, really, come and meet me. I'm not like that." And it kind of hurt me a little bit because I wanted them to come and meet me, you know, with seeing that I'm not mean. It hurt me really bad.
So my wife, she's notoriously afraid of horror movies. Like, she can't stand them.
Yeah.
But every now, so me and her made a deal. She'll watch a horror movie, and of course, Redhead was one of the ones that we watched.
I'm so glad she watched it.
Oh yeah, and I'll watch one of her movies, which is Lifetime or Disney. But we got a deal. So
hey, Simpsons is technically Disney, so
yeah,
that works for me,
right? But watching this now, when the gory stuff was going on, she was like this, but she said that your character, Autumn, reminded her, and I don't, at the time I didn't get the kind of analogy, but she was like a mixture of Magenta from Rocky Horror.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Oh my gosh, I love Magenta.
Oh yeah, Wednesday Addams, but then Kathy Bates' character from Misery.
I can see Kathy Bates.
So an old jaded fan obsessed bitch mixed with young goth and then trans. Well, not trans, but like she was super sexual. Like,
she wasn't really trans.
No, she wasn't.
No, she actually, Magenta was pretty badass. Thank you. Tell her thank you so much. I always loved Magenta. She was my favorite.
Well, which Wednesday Addams are we talking about?
The darker Jenna Ortega one.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
And not the TV show, because that was way. She don't like, you know, anything that's black or white unless it's like Dracula and stuff like that. She probably won't watch it.
I was also thinking like Christina Ricci. Like,
yes. I'm such a Ricci fan.
I love her.
You met Christina.
When I met her, she was so sweet. Oh my gosh.
I worked with her on All's Fair in Love, so I had the privilege of working with her for a number of
months. I love it. She's so sweet, isn't she? Oh my God.
She's all of 4'10", so like no matter what, like she just fits in your pocket. So even let me just grab you and put you in my pocket.
Little doll baby.
We talked about how funny it would be if we showed up to a podcast or a video in character. So I'm gonna.
Oh my!
You just want to strip for us.
Do that now. I'm not going to strip down to my.
Do I have any singles on me?
Well, I don't have the blood sprayer so that I could be in character right now here. It's in the other room.
Well, I'm missing a lot of blood too, but cheers.
Hey, it's all good.
Did you know you're getting a show on this?
I'm just a fan.
Yeah, you're just a fan.
I do want to say though, like, what really sold this movie for me was your facial expressions.
Oh, well, thank you.
Like,
she's happy about that. I know.
Thank you. I studied her every day about what I wanted to do with her. So that's why I directed it too, because I put my input on what I thought about things with him, but I also wanted to make her mine, because since she was me, I wanted to make her mine in how she was. So I studied how I wanted to act and thought about things. I'm not whipping you on here. That was on the movie when I really whipped you.
What were the organs made out of that you wound up eating during that scene? Normally, when I make special effects body parts, they're not that edible.
We use a lot. So for certain things, we use a lot of gelatin, and they don't taste good. And so you're talking about when she tells Ashley, "Fuck you." And she
got the whole rib just gnawing on it in her mouth, you know?
Yeah. So that piece was gelatin. And so to make matters worse, the meat that he was feeding her is supposed to be human. It was rotisserie chicken from Walmart, and had been sealed in this container, and it had been steaming in there for hours and hours. And as soon as that thing opened, it smelled like farts. You know, because
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was so in character. I was really crying for that scene for real, And I stayed in character and didn't want to lose her. So I was kind of out of it. I was in Autumn mode. And even, we got outtakes that we could show later on to you guys.
For probably 7 hours straight.
I didn't want to lose her.
She was in trauma
So
mode.
I stayed tied up. If they took a break for a second, I stayed tied up, sat there, stayed in character so that I didn't lose any of the magic that was going on for her at that time.
That that particular set was like 20 degrees, so she was shivering.
I was freezing, and I normally can't deal with cold because I've got a lot of issues with that with my circulation, but I didn't even feel it. That's what's so weird. I was so out into Autumn, I didn't feel the cold. I didn't feel anything except what I had to do to be her at that moment, and I was in her world. It was kind of nuts to hear me saying that, but it's the truth. And he was glad that I did that, so that every take, everything was still kind of smooth as we did it.
I felt bad because I had a fucking jacket on, and I was like, I'm freezing to death.
I didn't even
but
think
she's all wet and stuff because we wetted her down, and she it's supposed to be. I
didn't think or care about nothing. I just wanted to do it right.
That scene where she kills her captor, it's supposed to be like a week and a half, 2 weeks after the opening, and so that's why she's all filthy and but then she says she's tired of sitting there filth or
piss and shit.
And then when she vomited on set, we both can vomit on command, and she did it once, and I was like, well, I didn't quite get it perfect, and people were getting sick because
I was like, okay, I'll go again.
The smell of the chicken, farty chicken,
and the basically gelatin. I made sure not to have food on my stomach so that the food wouldn't come out, just part of what I had just ate, and then I had a ton of red wine on the stomach so that
to make it bloody,
would make it kind of bloody and portray the trauma, and where she didn't really eat because she was refusing to eat at that point. I thought about all that.
So then, I cut, and I was like, "That's not quite right." Sit up, and I was like, "Reset. We need you crying again, but also pissed and puke on command again." And she just did it. I mean, she's a rock star.
I was her. Once I get in a character, I get stuck in it until I'm told that we're totally done, or I know that we're done.
But that particular scene put you back about a week in your mental health, because I remember around the house, she was reliving trauma. Because she had opened up this can of worms,
so that I could be Autumn well because she did go through trauma. So I brought up my trauma in my mind so that I could portray her right and make it real, because I wanted it to be real when I knew she was going to be doing this.
and that's why I couldn't just put the movie out there and piss it away straight to distribution. That so many people were emailing us, I'll put your shit out there.
We had probably 40 people that wanted the movie really bad, and we looked at them and talked about it, and we was like, with what all happened with this whole thing, and what all we put into it, and Puggles being in it, and almost dying, and still me getting up there and doing that scene with me in a skimpy outfit blowing head off. No, we can't do this.
Frankie was a champ.
Yeah, Frankie was a champ on that scene too.
It was like 110 degrees in this upper floor. As when she blows his head off. Yeah, when she blows his head off, it was like 110 degrees in this second floor of a machine shop. It used to be a lens factory in the 30s, 40s.
He was really old.
It's really old, and so we started down this machine shop for a powder coating business, and then they make their way upstairs, and it was the middle of late July, early August, because you had just gotten your guts blown out.
Yeah, it was one of the businesses that my dad in the movie James has, and James Sloan. I used to work for James for a long time, and I'd end up coming ill for a bit, and but me and him always been close, so that was his bar that we shot in, his personal bar for the scene with me and my dad. And then all the warehouse was Benefit Wholesale that I used to work at. And it was kind of cool because it had so much cool things there to film with. And then also the powder coating whenever I was doing the shotgun scene was upstairs in that old abandoned place upstairs. That was a cool location. And then you can see some of the powder coating before we go upstairs. It was just some cool stuff he had. He was a great dad to me, always has been, on top of a producer.
we got graciously, I mean, because of the community, we got all of our locations, because people wanted to help. We didn't pay a dime for any of our locations. And these are locations that people out of town would be paying thousands of bucks a day. Multiple bars, warehouse.
Jason Leah with the bar none scene with the balls. Yeah, he was great letting us use that bar for that scene too.
Jason Leah,
he's awesome. Yeah,
really great.
Just everybody has just been a ball of sunshine for us, and and people and two have been like, we got a producer and a wonderful best friend to us, Tom Scarberry, that he's been a great person to help with Redhead 2 a lot.
He's been a massive producer for us.
Massive
on part 2.
And he's also in it as Modius Demon. We already shot our scene with him, and he's incredible. He's powerful with me in that scene. He's great. He can act really great.
Well, he helped us get, as a producer, he helped us get that brand new, nice, bigger, more improved chainsaw.
The big baby.
It was funny because you go and you drop $1,000 on a chainsaw, and it's beautiful and brand new, and then I take it out fucking side and I start sanding on it, and I start made
it dirty,
putting aging and dirt and scribble puggles on it. And
he told me to put puggles on it, so I did. Yeah. And the whole reason
the labels off.
The whole reason why I named Puggles is because it's I'm getting revenge because of Puggles' death, basically.
Killing in the name of
her.
So I don't want to spoil anything for Redhead 2, but do you plan on having this be a long-running franchise, or?
What we first did was we thought about having 2 and 3, and then me and him was writing 2 completely together. So I said, well, I have a lot of hidden health issues that I hide from people because I'm an actor. So, I'm strong anyways, but at the same time, I don't reveal a lot of things. But I thought, well, we'll combine 2 and 3 just in case something happens. You never know what might happen to me or what might happen, all together with things. And at the end of the movie, there's a crazy scene that if somebody came and I'm fine and they said they want a 3, I'll say yes. We'll do 3 because we have a lot of ideas for the 3. It'll be really wild and different.
As long as age and health hold up. I mean, it kind of depends on that.
Yeah.
Other movies are fine because they don't have the same demand that these do.
But if somebody says they want that, I'll do everything to make it happen because I know it's going to be. It's the second one's scary, but if we made a third one, it would be really terrifying.
So talking about nothing off limits. When we spray her in the face with blood in these scenes, she shits red for days afterwards because of all the red food coloring and stuff and red red number 4.
I let it go in my eyes so I can watch my victim die.
So she puts antibiotic cream in her eyes directly after, and
let it go in my nose. Now on the second one, I pretty much ingested more than one ever because I actually wanted to have my tongue moving around going, enjoying every moment.
And it was not mouth blood. It was not for mouth consumption.
It was a regular. We make mouth blood, but then we make regular blood. But we went ahead and used regular blood because we had more of that there available at that time. And I said I don't care, and he knew I didn't care. So we just put it in the sprayer, and then I didn't care. And then Justin was shooting the blood while he was filming. And we kept telling him to keep going because I didn't want to stop.
Are you sure? I was like, keep spraying the fucker.
I felt like in the second one, we gotta have more blood and capture more of her because she's so demon possessed so bad. She came from hell. She has to, she wants to taste the blood and enjoy the taste of it. So that's what I did. Because I'm silly, but I wanted it to be good. And I said, I don't care what it does to my health as long as it's good on screen. I don't care.
Well, so like I was saying earlier too, I'm growing this thing out again for and it's almost there. In a couple days, we're actually gonna be filming George's part because in Redhead 2, characters that were killed in the first one can be present in her life because she's been to hell. She goes to hell twice in it actually. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and spoil it. I teabag her with my sawed out nuts while she's sleeping.
He wakes me up with it, and then I take him and bite him.
So and then all of a sudden, boom, we're whisked away again to hell. And
in the trailer, you see where he kind of takes the chainsaw in his mouth.
I take the chainsaw in my house, and then or in my mouth, and then when she pulls the trigger, it goes like, but there's a fake head involved, and there's splits like.
And you guys can kind of see some of that in the trailer, where you can see that I've cut his head. You can kind of see how it looks at the end of the trailer, and then I hawk a loogie on him because I'm pissed with the chainsaw, which it really flew at him. It was wild when we shot that. So we got the last bit of that shooting to do now, and it's in the bedroom when he does that to me.
So I'm basically there to enforce her deal with the devil, because her deal with the devil now in Redhead 2 is that she's not allowed to kill. I mean, she can kill whoever, but she's supposed to be killing innocent people instead of bad people. Because, you know, the first Redhead is a vengeance warrior. And now you got the devil kind of holding her by the you know.
That just made me remember another key point that I need to tell you guys too. There's actually a scene in the movie where I'm actually getting ripped apart by the demons in hell,
and her Puggles is present, or a version of Puggles is present in that moment.
A bad version.
They throw this thing that was kind of Puggles at one time in hell at her.
Actually, my husband does that to me in hell.
It's so horrible. Like it's hard to.
So we had to cast me and make a lot of expensive things so that my body could be ripped apart.
Because they have to reach inside her belly, and we're going to show that.
It's going to be shown, and it's going to be crazy.
Full wearable silicone torso. So on the inside, you know, they can stretch it open, pull in, reach inside. I've been learning. She's been learning. It's process. And also, too, another thing about Redhead 2, I have been trying to push myself to go with old school visual effects, going with the cloud tanks and the ink and stuff.
Oh, it's been like really
atmosphere cool. and clouds and stuff to give hell a present, and then also using miniatures to give the vastness and portrayal to show that hell is bigger. You know, within the confines of like a 10-foot space, make it look like it's 300 yards. It's stretched out. You know, you've got this, this shot that kind of deceives the eye, makes it look bigger.
So cool.
Because I adore the films of the late 70s, all the 80s, some of the 90s, some of the 90s.
Just make it all practical, everything.
But I love seeing stuff in camera, and it shot in camera and then composited with, your characters to make it look. You think about Independence Day, and like you think about that, alien ship coming in, and like there's all this cloud and fog around it with lights bursting around. It's a freaking cloud tank, salt water and fresh water stacked with, lights and ink and stuff, and then they composited in with. It's not CG. It's amazing, and I can't stand CG. I understand the point of it for certain aspects, and I have used it at times, not for Redhead. But I really want to go as practical as possible. And I want to say, all this, I want to look at it and say, this aspect of this scene was shot in a camera.
Oh, yeah. So, Brandon, I have a question for you too. Or Brad. I said Brandon. I'm so sorry. Brad.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay. But first I want to say that to kind of, Johnna, to go on your what you said about demons earlier. Those movies are in my Hall of Fame too.
I love them.
Yeah.
Like I think, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I've seen part 1 of Demons at least 120 times.
Yes.
My wife was like, "You're sick of that movie, right?" I was like,
great stuff. Yeah. It was an every night thing for me for a long time, and I used to envision, doing something like that, and that's why I told him, I said I want to do that, and it's something
The
I
salmon I
have
see.
to do it like because and actually, whenever you think of a demon, that kind of a demon that came out of her like that is kind of what you envision when you think of a demon.
Yeah.
That's what we wanted to portray too, because I wanted her to look really different and creepy and not the same.
Well, here's a spoiler, but not really a spoiler. I will say that Redhead 2 does end on a cliffhanger again.
Oh my God, yeah.
And but also it's on such a shocking cliffhanger that if we just leave it at that, it would be the perfect ending to what we're doing. So it's kind of like,
But people will be wanting more, and that's why if somebody says or people want and they like it and they want another one, I'll go back at it because
and some financier can step up and make sure it happens. That's how I feel about
it
yeah.
for the I will say for the third one, it would probably take me every scene getting probably 4 or 5 hours full body makeup
every scene
done, every single scene.
That's
That's how complicated it would be, but it would be worth it to me if people wanted it. I would be willing to go through whatever I had to do.
a lot of bucks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we'll be at 100. We'll be at 100 grand on Redhead 2, and I know that's nothing for even big budget big budget indie films. 100 grand, they can pull that. We're seeing people pull 100 grand that aren't really even making their movies, and I'm like, how are you doing that? Like we struggle to make 10, and we're fronting,
but we're still making the movie regardless.
we're putting our own money and our life into it, and we're Redhead 1's budget, counting promotion and getting it out there in festivals and getting it in the screenings and everything else, it stopped at $50,000. That's people don't realize that most of your money is in line production, and that's getting it out there.
What's crazy is with Redhead 1, we didn't do any Indiegogo or anything for it.
Not until it came time to pre-order the DVDs.
Yeah, not until the DVD sales. So a lot of the movie was just me and him spending our everyday working money on it just to make it happen.
Well, doing other stuff too,
and doing other jobs just so that we could finance it and stuff. It was tough, but I'm so glad that we went through and did it and got it done, because it was a vision we really wanted to happen. It's emotional to me.
I want to know from both of you guys, what was your favorite kill from Redhead?
Oh, I'll let Brad go first.
Well, here's the thing. When you're a guy, you always connect with something that's very physical to you. So when you see a man losing his balls and them being ripped off, you can't help but like emotionally connect with that moment.
Right.
I felt it for that second, like, oh, that's me. That's not good.
It's shocking. I mean, those testicles look pretty real.
Well, the big thing, like whenever you're creating any type of art, you want to connect with the audience. You want the audience to feel something. You want them to. A moment ago, he was talking about how his wife is not a horror fan, and she gets scared from horror, and that is our dream fan. That's the people that we love to watch it.
Yeah,
people who are reel them in,
Yeah,
but the people who emotionally connect with the moment. It's kind of like I'm horribly afraid of heights, right? But I love going on roller coasters, and I love jumping with a rope attached to my legs off a bridge because of the emotional impact it has on me. Like I will literally cry getting on that roller coaster the first 2 or 3 times. But by the time I'm on the 5th, in Cedar Point or Universal Studios, I'm begging to go again because I love that feeling.
That's like her, when we got together, she hadn't ridden like any big roller coasters, but I proposed to her at Disney World.
But there's a story why I wasn't on those. I was on chemo for a long time, chemo pills, and anytime that I tried to ride something like that, it would totally like make me so dizzy and sick I'd throw up, because I was throwing up a lot whenever I was taking the medicine. So whenever I finally was off the medicine, when I got with him, I was still scared to ride him because I was afraid that I would get sick.
Trauma, yeah.
Trauma from it. So then,
she got upset at me a few times for dragging her on stuff. She's like, what the fuck? Why'd you do that?
I didn't know. I thought I don't want to puke on him or get dizzy and sick and not be able to get. But then when I found out that I could do it without taking the chemo stuff no more, I was really a lot better. And once I found that, I was like, okay, well, I'll go again then. But I was still it took me a long time. I was so terrified after what I went through with all that stuff.
Now, I mean,
here we are with her having such great valid reasons of why she can't go on a roller coaster related to chemotherapy, and I'm over here like, oh, I just can't do them anymore because I'm too fat to fit in them.
But I think you're awesome and brave because you do love doing that. So and you didn't have anything trying to stop you. You just did it because you wanted to, have a different experience. So you're very brave and you're awesome for that.
Yeah,
I look up to you because of that.
Funny story. My mom passed away in 2020. We filmed Reunion from Hell shortly after that happened, and then we said we needed time for us to go do something. So we scheduled Disney World. My mom passed away in July of 2020. We filmed Reunion from Hell in October, and between that I had a hernia surgery on my belly button, umbilical hernia surgery. So there was a lot of stuff going on, and so we filmed, and then while we were on set in Louisville, she got her wedding dress, and then we decided to go pick out an engagement ring, and get that settled. And she didn't know when she was going to get it, and so we scheduled a trip to Disney World, and she was very thoroughly convinced. At least she has me convinced that she was convinced. She did not believe that she was going to get engaged at Disney World because that was too obvious.
Well, he told me that it was going to be around a bunch of friends and stuff, and I said
all of our friends are going to be able to see
it at Disney World because we don't know nobody there.
I said all of our friends are going to be able to see it.
And there's Ricky and Disney just over the shoulders.
I said it's going to be at an event, and all of our friends will be able to see it.
Everybody's and then some of the girls would tell me, it's going to be there, and I was like, no, because he said it's an event with everybody there. It can't be there.
The event is our engagement, and our friends seeing his Facebook post, and so I got down on in front of the Magic, in front of the castle in Magic Kingdom, and our connectivity as filmmakers from that point just grew. The protectiveness that we have of each other and the ownership we have over each other is not intrusive on who each of us is, but people on the outside try to fuck with us, you're going to end up a character name in our movie. And that's that. I mean, we have gone through a lot of trauma together, from the time that we've met, we went through difficulties, we went through COVID together, which, we had only been dating 7 months, and I contracted COVID before it was known as COVID, and I was laying naked across her body she was sitting on the couch, and I was laying naked on her. I had a fever of like 104 or 5, something like that, and I just thought I thought I was going to die. And some political thing on TV made me laugh or cough, and I sprayed shit on her lap.
Oh Jesus!
and I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. And she went straight up. She was like, it's okay, hang on. And she came, back with wet cloth and clean me like a fucking baby, lift my legs up and wipe me. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna marry her. And
I had no problem with anything. I just was worried about him and wanted to clean him up. Yeah, me being a mom helped with that. But at the same time, I had to take care of him. He needed to be cared for and loved at that moment. And, as always, but when I feel like when you got somebody you love and they're feeling that bad and everything, you can't ever get mad at them for anything that they do because they can't help what they've done, and I was like, it's okay. And I just went and grabbed everything and wiped him like a baby and here you go, and cleaned up brand new blankets. And
but yeah, so anytime we're working together on a set, like when we're working to film, when we're acting together in a scene, like if we have to be mean to each other, it's one of those things where like all bets are off, and we have absolute trust that like I can be mean to her, she can be mean to me. It's full on. Like it's got to sell. It's got to be realistic. Um, like my death scene in Redhead with her whipping me with the whip, the horse whip she had. She was afraid to do it, didn't want to do it.
Well, I didn't want to hit him for real with it because I
No.
knew it was going to really hurt because this is a real horse whip.
But I was sitting with my shirt off in this chair contraption that I constructed. It had screws in the back, and like when you would lay against the padding, you could feel the screws in my back. And I said, "Stop wasting my fucking time. Hit me, goddamn it!" And she's like, "Okay." And I said, "Action!" And I went there and she went, like it was like, "Oh," and it was a really, really, really real reaction. So.
Well, I love it that you can actually see the red line too in the movie from her actually hitting with
No
it.
makeup, it's just like whelps. Like
And
I got 3 of them.
And then he had told me we was going to do it twice. There was a few other things you told me, like whenever the scene when I'm killing Travis the detective and I have the chainsaw.
You guys know the detective in the movie, the guy that comes to her front door and has a conversation with her. So when she's killing him, I wanted very much to see real chainsaw coming
over top of
at the camera lens.
Yes, at the lens.
But I also wanted the camera movement because I wanted to be true POV. I didn't want to just strap it to a fucking contraption and have her point the thing at it and then me yell cut. I wanted to be laying down.
He laid down underneath,
and I wanted to be holding it and controlling the focus.
Oh,
and having that, I wanted that experience because
he first told me about that, and I'll be honest, I said I'm not running that chainsaw over top of you because it could, if one mess up happens, it could cut your leg off, cut your anything off.
My sack.
And I was like, no, and he said you're fucking doing it, and I'm like, okay. So I said, okay. So
one way to get her to do this is piss her
off.
What's
funny is I was so nervous about doing it. We did our scenes. I was great, but then I got nervous when it's coming. But then as soon as I started thinking about Autumn's character, it went all away. And I was thinking about her being, a pissed badass, getting ready to kill this detective that pissed her off and made her mad, following her around. And
so you had this loud ass chainsaw going, and I'm counting down, and then I say action, and I had to say action again because you can't hardly hear it. So she starts doing her thing, But I'm filming. I get lost in filming her, and I forget that this thing's aimed right over my cock.
But I measured it really well. I first had to tell him, your leg needs to go down because when I'm coming at you, I don't want anything to happen. So put your legs down as you're filming.
Spread eagle.
So he was spread eagle. And then we had Travis monitoring, but I couldn't hear anything Travis said while I was running. So I did a short little thing where I kind of did gradual figuring out how far I had to go to the camera to where I wouldn't mess up our camera that cost so much. And I was worried about that. But then it was great. One shot, we got it. I went over top of him, and then I stopped right at before the camera got hit.
About an inch away.
We got it. It was perfect. And then he said, we caught it. We caught it. We don't have to do it again. And I was like, thank God. Well, see, and I was like, I don't want to go through that again.
There's a fun behind the scenes because directly at the end when I yelled cut, I roll over and I say, God damn it, because
it was scary.
Suddenly at the end of it, I felt the vibrations of the sound resonating in my crotch.
And the wheel that was flying off was flying on him and everything. Crazy.
Yeah, so like it hit me all of a sudden. Oh my God, that's almost my nuts. Like if it hits that lens, it might bounce down because you hit the tip of a chainsaw. It's like,
oh yeah.
The thing is that one, in the first one, it was a real chainsaw with a chain on it, ran all the time too. But this second one we got here,
it was an 18-inch.
This is a big boy, and it's got the teeth on it, the flesh, and it's more dangerous. And we've been doing some crazy stuff
in the basement with low ceilings, like.
And taking whatever risk to make it good, whatever we can do.
My favorite kill.
Oh yeah.
It's a simple one, but when you scalped the lady at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
To me, I was like, okay, so I've seen a lot of movies where people got scalped, but yours was just more vicious. I was like, okay, she's yanking the hair, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, I'm glad I'm bald.
Well, yeah, because like I mean, she mocks her and cries like a baby and does all
And
that
then
stuff and starts
scream.
screaming like just out of this world. It's not just about the effects in the movie. It's about character
Who
development,
she's becoming. Yeah,
story,
we
and,
wanted to show every aspect about how she becomes how she is.
I told her the other night that I think one of the worst parts about the most offensive things that we do is dialogue, more so, almost more so than our effects. Because the effects are just a lot of blood and there's some gore and stuff, blah blah, some gimmicks. But I think the
It'll
more
always be the dialogue that offends people too. That'll be the ones that you hear about. That'll be the ones that you get the death threats over. I mean, I can't tell you the number of weird letters that I've had delivered to me before.
yeah, well, and she starts yelling cocksucker, and that's we over and over again we put cocksucker in there because that's always from the time I was a kid, 41 years ago. Well, no, probably I wasn't a baby, but probably since I was 5, I think cocksucker was like the most offensive thing I could think of. Fucker, motherfucker, everybody says that. But cocksucker really has this thing where you can like the tongue hits the roof of the mouth and you're being offensive as hell, and it's there. I mean, and she when she sells it, like she's talking about going to hell because this, and when she says it the first
Yeah,
time,
I'm going to hell because of you. Ah! Like that. Whenever, so you cocksucker.
yeah. So it's she's stabbing a dead body, but she's so pissed off because the guy forced her to damn herself. Earlier in the movie, you can argue that she was in self defense and out of her mind and passion, crime of passion. But as soon as the dude, the bar, like kind of hit on her, she just was like unhinged, and that he didn't really need to die. She was not really in danger, but she just decided, I want to, I'm done. And he was the trigger that pushed her to damnation. And
Another
that's
cool
crazy.
thing that they didn't know yet, that I don't think anybody knows this, but whenever we had help filming on our scene, on his death scene.
Oh, Boyd Smith.
So Boyd Smith came to help us film because he couldn't film and I couldn't help film.
I didn't have glasses on. I couldn't see shit.
And so what we did was the last bit on his part, we didn't write that at all. It wasn't scripted because we knew me and him could go ahead and do that. Just do it on our own with no script because we
just improvised.
Because we pretty much was still, in the same mode of what we wanted with it. So that was not scripted. That was me and him just being our characters.
Just how you feel about each other.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing, that there are certain things in movies that only husband and wife can do, or somebody in a really close relationship can do.
So we just went in on it and just said what we wanted to say with our characters on it. I mean, the last bit when I kill him.
If we're going to violate each other in such visceral way, I mean, it can only be, you can't meet somebody on a set and be expected to act that way. Right. Like on most indie films, you have 18 hours, 20 hours before you arrive on set and you start filming your first shit. There's no chemistry. So you have to try to figure out chemistry and go through all these little bullshit things and let's have a beer together or whatever. But that, there's a history there, and so we didn't have to build that up, and that was fun.
It was really awesome because we immediately, as soon as we started doing it back and forth, and we had no problem with getting the scene done.
Well, there's a lot of fun deleted stuff. I mean, I call it a horror and everything else.
Yeah, it was really awesome.
There's just an hour and a half of us bantering at each other right there to be boiled down to a minute and 15 seconds or whatever it is that we're kind of back and forth.
If you want to advertise this podcast, right there was the moment, like the little cup scene. You're like, I called her a whore. It was awesome.
As Redhead and everything, I was ready for whatever. I was just cool.
Keeping the Karens out of streaming, right?
Amen. Shout out to that gentleman who helped fix my T-shirt.
Well, it was not only trying to look like water, but it was also a little bit of a jizz element to it. So
yeah.
So
And he takes a drink.
They say sex sells. They pay a little more for sperm these days.
Well, you got a chick,
Yeah.
you got a chick running with a see-through shirt because
Yeah.
like it's been wet, and
Yeah.
so like I'm like, well, it's a very phallic instrument that the bee is holding, and he's like, the bee stream. That's the stream right there.
I'm definitely gonna have to put an MA warning on this one.
It's very forthcoming.
Nice.
Ooh. Ooh.
So Brad, with your platform, what is your main goal? And because I know what you said earlier was, I think you guys got like a free trial going right now. Speak about the prices, and is it tiers, or how's that go?
Well, we try to be as affordable as possible, but we are in competition with big companies, and often these companies are producing their own content for years prior to even being a streaming service. Companies like Shudder are owned by AMC, so they have AMC's library going into it. Even some of the smaller streamers, like Full Moon Streaming, shout out, like Full Moon, fan of Charles. Matter of fact, I just advertised in their magazine, but they had the benefit of having their huge library prior to creating their streaming service, where I did have a small number of films myself. I've produced 25, 30 some movies and directed a couple dozen movies myself, but definitely not the huge volume that an AMC or even Full Moon would have. So we do our best to make it as affordable as possible. It's about a little over $6 a month, annually. If you don't want to commit to anything, it's $7.99 right now. But we always offer free trials. There's tons of promo codes. I even tell people, hit me up directly. I'll give you a promo code. It'll be even cheaper. Um, the big goal with it was kind of a two-pronged goal. One, so as a filmmaker, when I make a movie, one of the big things I've always been really passionate about is simply making a movie that for an hour and a half gives you a release. It gives you an escape from whatever your normal life is. Yes, typically my films do actually have a little bit of a message, but I'm not hammering it down your throat. That's not the point of it. I just want you to be able to escape from daily life. I once had a very large family, right? I had 26 plus immediate family members, and I'm the last surviving member of my family. I even buried my mother twice and on Christmas Eve. So, understanding that in life that we need an escape at times, just something where no matter what's going on, we can look at the boob tube, press play and see something that allows us to escape. That's one of the big things the B Stream's about. But also, as a filmmaker myself, as the landscape keeps adapting and Fox buys Tubi, Disney buys Fox, all these companies start merging and the content changes. There's not enough homes for the films that I love. More and more, you start to see all these great classic fun films, cult favorites, bloody, edgy films, films with nudity, what have you. These films that just don't find a home anymore because, our culture is a little different. Not necessarily from how people actually feel, but because people are so vocal in social media amplifies their voice. It doesn't mean we don't have millions of horror fans who still love seeing a gory movie, or people who don't mind seeing a girl in the shower scene. Like it's not a travesty. It's just there's people who value their opinions so much they think their opinion is the only thing that matters, and they're out there screaming it to the world. So a lot of distributors, a lot of platforms have been afraid to put those things out there. And that's what the B Stream was about. It was giving a home to the films we love and not making people feel guilty about it. You can go yell at Paramount, you can go yell at all the other companies, blah, blah, blah. Feel free to yell at me, but it's not going to change a thing. We're going to put a Serbian film on there, and people who want to see it get to see it. And if you don't, you just don't press play. That's all it is.
Real simple. Don't look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's what I want the B Stream to be. I want it to be your hour and a half to 2 hour escape from whatever's going on in your life, and whatever it is type of film you want to play, you get to play here. And we're not going to hold you accountable. Matter of fact, if we don't even have it, that's what the Hive's about. Not only can you interact with other people who love stuff, but you can literally post and say, hey, I would love to see this film. Can you get it? And that's how we found Redhead, because someone said, this film's out there. And I said, let me go see if we can get it, because that's what we're trying to do. We want to make this for you. This isn't just about having a streaming service. It's about having a community, having the other people that give you a high five and enjoy that film together, not make you feel like a bad guy just because you enjoyed that scene.
All
So what you say resonates a whole lot with our process when we were working. Instead of having like a message, we don't really have like a message to our movie. It's not like, oh, feminism. It's not all revenge on piece of shit guys. That part's personal to us. It's like, oh, let's get out our demons and work on that. But second, and largely so, is what's fucking entertaining. I mean, we thought, how can we make people jump? Like, how can we pace this in a way to speed it along and drop some of the dialogue and just go with action. And
Yeah.
like, we're basically trying to fist fuck the audience and make them react in a way, like force them to react. It's not, they're not choosing to react. They're not coming to it because it's a political message. It's not singing to their rights or what have you. People are singing because, oh man, you got to see, like, this went fast. People tell us all the time, this movie passed by me, an hour and a little over an hour and a half. It passed by me, and I thought, wow, shit. Like, I mean, that didn't feel like that. I mean, it did not feel like it was 97 minutes.
And then you had some people that was telling us, hey, the ending just left me hanging on, like, what the heck's going to happen next? And then we was like, well, that's why we're doing it too, because that way it picks up, and so you can see what happens afterward.
Well, and also the entire purpose of ending in the way we did was to kind of get people like super like amped, and then all of a sudden drop the "Hey, Puggles passed away" message, like,
which
it's like, oh fuck, like, and then the closing credits happen, and it's like, fuck,
my baby.
I don't like ending on a good note. I mean, she'll tell you I'm always like, this shit's not believable. Like, everybody dies.
All right. I love a movie where no one lives. Like, one of my favorite movies of all time is Burial Ground.
Burial Ground is like,
yeah.
Oh, mommy.
And the ending to Mist. I mean, was there ever a greater ending?
Oh, the Mist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a mainstream movie that actually nailed it. I mean, they went for the balls. And the Thing is a really incredible downer.
Oh, my God. That's the first movie I saw when I was a kid, was the Thing. My parents, before all the bad things happened with them later, they was kind of afraid for me to see horror movies, and my dad loved watching them a whole lot at night, and I would sneak up and try to watch them because I knew I loved them.
And you were what, 5?
Yeah, I was about 5, and it just went on TV back then, like the early 80s, and he was watching it, and he was getting ready to start watching it, and I was like, I want to watch this. And he said, it's going to be too scary for you. And
we probably saw the same broadcast.
I was like, no. And I said, I want to watch it, please. And he let me watch it. When he saw I wasn't scared and thought it was cool,
he's like, oh, my kid's fucked
he's
up.
Like, oh my. So then he knew that for a little girl, I was going to be different. And I think that's
special.
Yeah. And I think that's why he kind of always gets into, he as he's gotten older, he's had a lot of health problems I've been trying to help him with and stuff. And he still likes watching movies and all that stuff, but he's not like what it used to be. But he did support us on coming to the Redhead premiere, and he was there with me and got pictures, and he was very proud.
Super funny moment about that. His takeaway was not, hey, you cut a guy's balls out, not, hey, you put a saw into a guy's chest, not, hey, you did this and that. You shouldn't have cussed so much, was his final thought.
He wasn't used to be cussing. So
why'd you have to cuss so much?
He said, why'd you have to cuss so much? Because, Johnna, you don't normally cuss that much. Mm-hmm. And I said, but that's what my character was in the movie. He said, well, you was great in the movie and stuff, but you just cuss so much. I've never seen that before.
But I looked at him and I said, you
weren't seeing her. You weren't seeing the character.
He didn't ever see me cuss like that. So it freaked him out.
He knows where that cussing comes from. Partial inspiration of her attitude.
Oh yeah. I kind of want to take a personal note here for a minute and I said this before the show because we talked a little bit before the show that I'm kind of following in the footsteps of the path that you paved. YouTube, podcast, writing, directing, and if I can do as much half of what you've done, I've succeeded. That's God's honest truth. Uh, so my kind of personal takeaway from what you guys do, and Brad from the platform you have, what my personal takeaway is, you guys are doing it. One, you're a married couple. You don't see that a lot, and you guys are doing it together, and that's phenomenal, and it's making your bond stronger. Most people who work together that are couples, yeah, you need that 8 hours, but you guys
Sometimes
are
they strand you in Nashville and you never see them again.
exactly. you know, but it's phenomenal what you guys are doing and what you're creating, because at the end of the day, I do 100% mean when I said I think you guys made the next iconic horror character. I won't say villain, because in the first one I didn't see you as a villain. I mean, toward the end, okay, maybe a little bit, but not through the whole thing.
Yeah,
Just
but
by
the thing about
circumstance.
that, isn't that when we love horror characters the most? When
Freddy Krueger, what is he?
oh
Yeah,
well,
it's a
actually,
victim too.
Freddy Krueger's a great reference because if you think about it, in the original Freddy Krueger's, we didn't know if he was guilty or not. He was being he went to court. He won the case, and these people went chased him down and burned him. That's what I thought was one of the things that hurt the remake so much was they made him really this bad guy, so you couldn't root for Freddy at all.
Yes.
Right. Well, and
Because
also,
you knew
it
he
was bad.
was that.
Also, that was just bad.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, like Freddy. I mean, Freddy is a hero antagonist.
Mhm.
People are rooting for him to be the bad guy, and that's kind of where in the end she comes to. I mean, I'm not saying she's Freddy Krueger or anything.
No, because
but-
this was not wrote because of that. It was wrote because we wanted to make a female killer
just watch the development. Where does she go? I mean,
and make her evolve into so much more than just a female anymore. She becomes demonic and
what happens
changes.
to you? What happens to you when you face more and more and keep seeing the same shit happen? What happens to you as a human being? It does happen.
That's why in the second one she just had to, because in the first one we wanted her to evolve, and I wanted to even change her looks and how she acted to evolve, give her that quirk, like that thing that she did. I gave her a quirk, and I wanted the evolution in the second one of her to go to more demonic. Like you just keep seeing her change and become more evil, and
it's all a big character arc.
When you see great character arcs, I mean, doesn't that help you fall in love with characters? I mean, how we made references to Hellraiser earlier. Initially you have these beings that exist in this almost purgatory, if you will. And they're not necessarily going after random innocent people. It's people who chose to come to their world, and then all of a sudden you realize by the time part 2 comes around, you're like, wait a second, so you didn't choose to be here? We'll be your hero. And all of a sudden you're like, is Pinhead trying to save the day? And you're like, when you see the passion and the emotional arcs in these characters, it makes you want to root for them. It's why you can sit there and be like, yo, I get Jason. Those guys just killed his mom.
Yes.
I'm going to come for you
get
too.
on him. Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's so many times that's happened throughout like great horror cinema, because you can, even if you don't think they're right, you can get it. You can relate.
You can relate to them.
Yeah, I feel that.
And so at the end of the credits, I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen it, Brad. Josh, I don't know if you saw it all the way through or not, but at the end of the movie, at the end of the credits, we put if they don't support you or believe in you, fuck them. I mean, our mantra. Anytime we've asked ourselves, are we going too far? We come to the conclusion, fuck them.
Mm-hmm.
There is no going too far. We're going to do if it's pushing a limit, we're going to do it. I mean, there's always going to be a platform for us, and I'm not gonna edit our thought process.
I think too is going to get people really really afraid, because he said this thing's going to get like an X rating in the second one because it's so hardcore.
And that's not
crazy
nudity or
bad.
sex. It's just violent.
The violence in it. Well, I mean, there is a lot more sexuality in the second one, but there's also a lot more hardcore violence to the point that he was like, I think, but then I'm like, hey, that's what we wanted. We wanted to shock people more
you guys,
with her evolution.
You guys want like a little a teaser spoiler from Redhead 2?
Sure.
I mean,
all right,
you've already ripped yourself off a couple times, but
yeah, we don't mind because there's so much.
There's
stuff
so much we can give it. I mean,
we can give it to you, yeah.
And that's marketing. So that's the thing. If you don't have something to market, if you can't give something away, you don't have a product to market.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a whodunit,
there's a free trial right now on the B Stream.
yeah. Hey, yeah. You guys should subscribe to B Stream right now.
Yeah.
You're gonna get hooked, and you'll be paying for it. It's cheap as fuck. What you're paying for Shudder, you're paying for Prime, you're paying for all this other stuff. Why not pay for the B Stream? Because it's good.
And he's actually supporting a lot of great filmmakers that deserve to be supported.
You guys claim to be indie fans. Well, fucking stand up and nut up. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, we're here trying to, like, I make films for a living. I realize the loss of revenue we have in so many places. I mean, it's actually why when we saw Amazon have took their steps to not really allow new filmmakers onto their system and give them a place to release their film.
Oh yeah, they've been horrible.
You have to be through like an aggregator or a distributor to get on film or on Prime now.
Which
we developed a TV.
But they are taking their time. They're awful.
We got licensed on 12/23/24 and still are not on Prime.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Fuck them, man. Like thank you for putting us out.
Yeah,
there.
Thank you for caring about us and putting us out there.
We spent a few extra bucks recently, which you guys are actually part of that program on, where we added the TVOD, which is transactional video on demand for anyone who's not familiar. And all that means is if you're not a subscriber, you can go and rent or you can purchase.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Right now. We have several movies. I think we have probably about a third or a fourth of our library has that feature right now. We're trying to add more of those.
Well, see, that's the thing. People suck on Primes, Dom, and they're doing the same thing there. They're renting movies there, and it's like, why not just go here? Like,
yes. And then you can watch a ton of movies and stuff instead of just renting one movie off.
You don't have to rent it. Pay
$7. That costs you a fortune to keep renting movies.
What is it, $7.99 a month for eStream?
Yes, and almost no one's had to pay $7.99 because we give me promo codes.
And then they sometimes on Prime charge $4 or something for one movie, and then that's all you're getting is one movie, and you don't get the whole range of all the great movies to watch that you can enjoy all month long.
So here's the spoiler for Redhead 2. This is so you know how like a lot of people think like the ball drop is like the big thing in Redhead. So I don't know if you guys remember the DJ from Redhead, the drum and bass guy that's like long hair.
I got annoyed with him in there.
He looks like Aphex Twin, Richard D. James.
He was doing the DJ in there, and that's when Eric walks up. That's his real name, and he walks up, and I'm getting irritated that he's following me around before I drop his balls. This was the DJ guy that was in the movie. When you go back and watch it again, you'll see he's very awesome. Nick Daly is his name.
So this is the funny part. Like she actually goes back to that bar in part 2, and I think it's to kind of tie up loose ends and actually to take, because she is charged with killing innocent people, and so she goes back to tie up loose ends, people that have the goods on her
that I let live.
That she let live, and she's like, "Why did I let him live? Okay, I gotta go take care of him." But long story short, a character is taking a piss in a men's urinal, and she grabs a hand auger, a giant long corkscrew, and while he's pissing in the urinal, shoves it up his ass.
I take it and crank it real good too,
and it bursts out of his dick. And you see that he's spraying bloody piss all the urinal, and it when she yanks it out, his dick inverts and shit sprays out of his ass on her face, and he like falls face first into the urinal, and then she comes out of the bathroom covered in his blood and shit, and proceeds to punch her fist through a guy's chest to pull out his heart, and then rips a bitch's tongue out and kills her husband. And it is
I realized I have some gifts after I did the auger thing that I could actually get inside people and rip their organs out. And
And
stuff.
no, this movie is not from Trauma, for anyone curious.
No, well, it's very serious. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds.
It is not the sequel to Poultrygeist.
Well, yeah. So that's the thing. When we were describing Redhead to people, people kind of laughed at it. When we were talking about stabbing people in the dick and the balls falling out.
Oh yeah, when we first started it,
people didn't take it seriously.
But
it's funny.
It wasn't people out everywhere else that didn't believe in it. It was here in our hometown that was treating us that way.
Oh, it'll always be the closest people to you, man.
They knew we was filmmakers. They knew we had made movies. They knew we had made movies with big stars. Like, they knew all this stuff.
They're like, is it a comedy?
And they're like, is that a comedy? And we're like, no, it's serious. And
it sounds funny on paper.
But then now, they know what it is now, and they see it, and they're like, oh my God, now, it shocks them. They love it. But at the same time, before, we went through a lot of ridicule from people here, and stuff telling us that we wasn't going to get it done, and all. It was like, we've already made films.
Like, how many more people
you're not going to get it done?
They were like, how many more people you have to kill? And I'm like, a lot.
Yeah, they would say that about how many more you got to kill, and we'd be like, and they was like, you haven't finished it yet? No, we're taking our time.
You want to pay for this shit and pay for me to take off work so I don't have to work a job? And like, okay, I'll get it done right now. But
and people outside of our world don't understand how long it takes. They don't understand.
No.
A good death scene for us takes 9 hours, 10 hours. I mean,
we take our time with it.
And if I got to work, and there were times in Redhead when I would get off at like midnight or 1 a.m. and then go to a bar and shoot until 8 a.m. in the morning with sunrise for death scenes. And she would come to my work and help me close.
So that we could get out of there and go.
All of our shit was already preloaded. I woke up at 9 a.m.
I'd go load the car up, had it ready, so that as soon as we were done at his work, we was ready to get down there.
And the battery charger business, that's some serious shit. Like, I mean, that's lots of effort getting things, to have all your stuff. Mm-hmm. And I get off work and then go and direct a scene. And it was, bloody shit, it primed up, the morning was spent boiling ingredients to make edible mouth blood, and then also sprayer blood, and making sure we
made sure everybody else had the real safe edible mouth blood.
Sanitary stuff that they could.
I was the only one that didn't really care if I had it or not, but everybody else, we wanted them to be safe, and have the right things so that they didn't get sick. And it tastes like cherries,
you do it because you love it. You're not trying to force a message on anybody. You're just doing it because I'm going to make my art, and if you don't like it, fuck you. I mean, that's legit. I mean,
I'll never forget whenever Eric, after we did his ball drop scene, we was taking him home, and the car was filled with all of our equipment.
It's Camaro.
And it was filmed. The whole thing had film stuff, and the trunk had film stuff and everything. And our camera had 2 cameras, and then all the lights, and it was crazy. It was filled up top.
150 grand.
And so I made sure that he sat on my lap on the way home. He could get home.
She put his balls out, then he rode on her lap.
But that's the bond that we all had with this film. Like, we all had this close bond, and it's always there, and it'll never stop the love with everybody.
Well, every time we go out now, I mean, it's a pretty much an 8 out of 10.
It's like a Redhead reunion when we go out. I love it now.
It's an 80% chance that we see somebody that's involved with the movie out, whether it be producers or cast.
We'll just sit with them, and we'll just have a blast.
We sit and have a beer, hang out, and enjoy. And we genuinely love the people that we've worked with, and there's no hard feelings with anybody.
Oh God, we all just had the best experience together ever. And then they're all like, we're ready for 2, and we've already filmed some of them. The ones that we're getting ready to film, they're all excited, and we're excited to be with them again. And it's just a great experience with everybody. It's what we call the Redhead team together.
So, Josh, you seemed a little bit timid about. You thought you were going to cross a line earlier. When are we going to hit this line here? That where are we?
Oh no, We're good. See, here's the thing. Like, I'm, I always say, and I don't know how many episodes you or interviews you guys seen that I've done, but I always say this is a platform for whoever's coming on. I'm just along for the ride. The best part about this whole situation, especially this episode, is I've had episodes where we've cussed, where we've, said stuff that you probably shouldn't say and everything like that. I knew this episode was going to be probably one of the best, if not the best episode, one of the most raunchiest episodes, and it has definitely lived up to that. But the thing is this is never about me. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm grateful for you guys, Brad. I'm thankful for what you do on your platform. At the end of granted, I just found out about it today, but
hey, I just found out I was coming on the podcast today.
Well, this is good advertising, man. Like
this is great. I love it.
I think because of Johanna, I think she was like, I think I accidentally tagged Brad. And then all of a sudden, I'm just looking at my notes. I'm like, did I miss a podcast I was supposed to do? So I'm calling people. I'm like, hey, can we cancel that? Because I guess I had a podcast I didn't have in my notes.
Well, what happened was, I guess it all happened for a great reason. I was with my dad today. He's been having a lot of health issues. He's got real bad lymphedema, and he's got really bad with his diabetes on his legs. And he was in a car accident a couple years ago. And ever since then, he's had these spots that come up that are lethal, that he could lose his legs. Mm-hmm. And I was at the hospital with him. And I was actually, what's funny is I knew what I needed to do. And I guess that both of you was on my mind, and I screwed everything up. But that's because I was sitting there with him, and I was trying to because I wanted to make sure and advertise, and
well, we did Horror Madness recently with them, and they were so gracious to have us. And then we've got this, and then we've got Without Your Head next week on Thursday,
which I accidentally promoted as being yesterday.
Brad.
But I guess it was all meant to be for all of us, so that we all could be together, I guess.
Brad
but I felt bad. I was like, oh my God. That's what I said. I was like, I was with my dad at the hospital and screwed everything up. I was like,
no, it's very fortuitous. I mean, you get a double whammy here.
It worked out great, I guess. Anyway,
you've got a platform owner of somebody who's put our movie out there. You've got the people making the movie, and you've got the guy doing the show.
I know.
You got the whole circle.
Wonderful.
You get the circle.
We love you guys, and
you got the creator, the middleman. You got the creator, the middleman, and the media.
but I guess maybe it was meant to be. I was a little bit out of my head because it was at the time I did that. I thought, I got to do this like right now because I wanted to be around before lunchtime.
My friend, this will bug you, but it never will. He'll be on that list of things that as we progress in this industry of ours, we just have to remember to forget and not worry about and smile about, because there's so many things that like if we reflect on and hold back, we're like, oh my God, I'm going to live this little goofy moment of my life over and over again 1,000 times.
Well, so before we promote our Indiegogo, I do want to give you, Brad, a chance because I know you're working on, because you're a filmmaker yourself. I want to make sure you have this avenue to promote what you're working on right now.
I'm here for you guys today, but I appreciate that. I'm here
no, seriously, I want you to speak about what you're working on right now, because I mean, people are going to respect your platform more for streaming when they find out you are an artist and you are not just trying to rape people of their what they've done. I mean, you are the guy getting raped sometimes when you promote.
He promotes. The thing is, the filmmakers that go on the B stream, though, he promotes the heck out of you so that he goes out there.
I mean,
he don't stop. He makes sure that he gets your movie out there. He makes sure that he promotes you. He's always on your side, and it's wonderful. It's something you don't get with anybody else ever.
I figure you put your faith in me by putting it on the B stream. So B stream's got to, earn that faith by putting the effort in.
See, he just has a good comeback.
I know, he's awesome.
But I mean, seriously, what have you got coming up?
Well, from the in production standpoint, we wrapped Killer Keg, which I'm really looking forward to. We're unleashing.
Okay.
Killer Keg, yeah,
You
that's
got it. We're
cool.
unleashing a monster that a lot of people aren't familiar with. That's you haven't saw in American cinema very often, Frau Perchta.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and we are actually in the process of shooting the sequel right now, even though the other is going to release in theaters this Christmas. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to release a couple of my other films on the B stream. I am not excited about my Little Creeps release. Little Creeps was always that one that like got away from you. You went out to make this like masterpiece, and then it basically became Troll 2. And like where our lead actor 2 days
But it
before
was,
filming, Lee Ehrenberg from Pintle from Pirates of the Caribbean, he was stuck on a holdover contract with a TV series he was in as one of the dwarfs. So Once Upon a Time, and he couldn't come like 2 days beforehand. And I won't diminish this. I want to, but I won't diminish the special effects company. But we had a brilliant special effects company that was supposed to show up. And like literally 24, 48 hours before we were starting to film, they called me up and they're like, "Hey, Brad." I'm like, "Hey, buddy." He's like, "Hey, fuck you." And I'm like, "Hey, excuse me? Wait, whoa, what did I miss?" He's like, "We just want to say it to you before you say it to us. We're not coming. We're working on bleep, insert this major TV series that came out at the same time. They're
Oh,
paying a whole bunch of money, so we're not showing up." So now I didn't have my special effects team. I don't have my, I don't have my lead actor. So I have all these elements of my film beforehand that are just, lacking. So the movie never wound up being, what I had dreamt of it being, even if we had half the cast of Saved by the Bell or Jake the Snake Roberts and Robert Zadar and all these amazing pieces I was so excited to work with. But so that one always kind of haunted me a little bit.
yeah, I've
I
got
know
that.
what it could have been, but that's gonna
he's got that in his past too.
yeah.
But I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful.
Well, man,
You
you know
never know
what?
your audience because like Little Creeps, people fell in love with. I was
You
Yeah.
got a movie out there,
festivals
man.
left and right. I'm like, oh my God, how is this? How does it have a 8 point something on IMDb? It's not that good, you
It's a
know?
lot of work
You
though.
cross the
went
finish
through.
line, and that's all it means.
That's what makes it. Yeah.
Crossing the finish line is half the battle,
There's
dude.
a lot of people that are, they just don't finish movies and stuff, and it's finished. Like you did a great job finishing it. Yeah.
That's why it's actually one of my favorite films in my career because of what all we had to go through. Most of which
Yes.
I can't even say on camera to create this film. And then like I remember just years later, I'm like, oh my God, if they love Little Creeps, they're gonna love Monsters on Main Street. The cinematography is better, the performances are better, everything is just like solid comparatively speaking. And then it bombs. I'm just like, I don't understand, you know? And I feel like it was all the way until this point in my career where I really just realized I will never get people, never get how much they can't connect or understand our world. Perfect example of that is I did this TV series, and this wasn't horror or edgy comedy. This TV series was just me traveling around the country, showing my favorite bars, restaurants, and nightclubs. And we had 2 seasons of this. We had a major, a streaming partner for this show. I won't name them simply because we're the B stream, and no free shout outs to someone who canceled me. But when this show came out, this actually relates to something earlier in our conversation too. Um, I was getting death threats. The series released right around 2020 when COVID came out. And of course, in the show, I'm like, "Hey, you've got to check this out. You've got to come right now. Leave the house. You've got to come to this bar, or shout out to Cattle Dog Coffee. You got to try Cattle Dog Coffee.
Oh my God.
Like I'm over here asking people leave their houses, check this stuff out, and then people are like, "How could you be there yesterday? This is during COVID. You should have been locked in your house. I can't believe you're asking people to leave their house." I'm like, "This was shot 4 or 5 years ago. It's just getting released. It was yesterday."
Gosh.
But they didn't get it. I still have some of my death threats.
No.
It's very cool.
I mean, in my past, I have had death threats and stuff in the mail, and it was not related to filmmaking.
Mm.
So I can.
I'll be right back. If you guys could give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Continue talking.
Take a pee for me
Word
too.
from our sponsor, the B Stream.
I have to do it. I think I have to go real quick and do a pee stream real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, well played.
Will you bring me 2 beers when you come back?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that will be our adult version.
After you wet my butt. Oh,
Oh, that's
The,
really
the
terrible.
things that go on the recording when people are gone.
Now we can really fuck up.
Yeah. Oh, there
So
were so many things I wanted to say, like when you guys brought up Christina.
I want to take a moment.
Yeah, do your thing, my friend.
I
Oh,
want to
nice.
I want to thank Kevin Edwards and crew from Always Late TV Movie Awards for putting on a really killer fucking show. As far as you know how it is. You get ripped off as an artist when you're submitting to festivals. Always Late TV Movie Awards in Illinois, man. This thing weighs 6 pounds, 7 pounds. It's solid steel, and it was machined in their college department there.
Oh, wow.
So I mean, it is absolute quality. So we won awards before this, but this was our first in person award.
Mm.
And when we went up on stage and felt it, like I'll never forget all the people there at that festival. Now another shameless promotion. I got to talk about, speaking of canceling, CJ Chris Vecchio from Chicago. I love this award because Johnna earned this in Chicago Horror Film Festival. She won Best Actress
Oh, very cool.
across from Tom Matthews. He was Best Actor.
Oh, nice.
Fucking
from Return of the Living Dead.
fucking 300 movies there, and she in the middle of fucking Chicago. Here she is. She wins this, and they present her with this like certificate. They give her this. This was our dead daughter Puggles. This was her almost dying. This was financial ruin. This was all kinds of stuff that we went through. It was crazy, man. Like, I mean, that people don't get that when you're celebrating this stuff, you're not celebrating like, oh, it's an award. You're celebrating everything you lost getting to it. I mean,
Yeah.
Sacrifice. Yeah.
it's a funeral. It's a celebration of life.
When they interviewed me, that's all I did was talk about that. I was so happy that I got that award. It was a dream, but at the same time, I had to let them know about the losses.
Here's a really cool one from Mad Monster.
Oh, nice.
I always wanted to drink a beer out of this because
You should. Right now.
it's
You have one in your
Awesome.
hand.
It's huge.
It's legit. I mean, a Mad Monster is we won Best Feature at Mad Monster in Concord, North Carolina.
Now, that young lady just brought 2 beers. I saw them. You could pour one in there right now and take a drink. You said you always wanted to. Make it happen.
I don't want to ruin it. I mean, I mean it's I don't know how it's held together. I don't want to grade it, and also
Fair.
I try to do that at the festival. I wanted to pour a beer at the we celebrated immediately, and I was like, I want to pour a beer in this, and they're like, no. And I was like, okay, I might mess up the paint job, and I want to I don't know what's on this. I might kill myself. Like
When we was there, we was actually Misty Wagner was with us in Chicago, and Patricia and Dave Van Dusen that was in Redhead. Misty Wagner, she's in Redhead 2 coming up with me.
And they're all producers. Now.
And they're all producers, and she was with us when we won that in Mad Monster. And she sat with me, and then as soon as she saw we got that, she made sure to get extra good pictures of us holding it and being intimate with it. And then we end up going kind of live afterward and stuff like that.
With it.
But she's another.
What I was thinking when she said it.
Misty Wagner's another demon in hell with me, and me and her both wear skimpy outfits and stuff. And
there's other trophies I can't grab because they're kind of like stuck in a weird position.
uh,
But we have a Village of Barboursville proclamation. We actually in our town we have a Sam and Johnna Day.
Oh,
yeah, they gave us that over from doing the film.
So you know how it is, man. You have to celebrate your victories because they're when you're filming for 3-4 fucking years doing like a feature, and you got to celebrate the victories because you earned them. And
especially if you don't want to rush your features and you just want to make sure that they're what your vision is and stuff.
Here's something really cool. This came from.
But I just feel like if you finish a feature, it's a big deal. Like it's huge.
So we
Oh,
we have a wonderful friend. We have a wonderful artist friend from Russia,
Okay.
and she was our friend online for a long time, and then all of a sudden the Ukraine Russia war started, and it was right around the time we were getting ready to release Redhead in premiere. But I messaged her and I said, Johnna's birthday is the same night as our world premiere of Redhead. Can I?
October 30th, 2023 was the date of that.
I said, can I commission you to make one of your art pieces for her birthday? This was a couple months before the premiere. And getting the money to her was a challenge because of the war going on. But this art that she made, she put in a coffin and she made a full doll of Johnna and Puggles. And we can put them up.
That's cool.
But it's in a coffin.
It's in a coffin. And she made it where it says actually Redhead on the chainsaw. And she made me in the scene like after I end up.
Well, look at the threads. I mean, that's her dress and
the same dress like I wore in several scenes. And then here's Puggles, which is actually looking exactly.
Show her the tail, like or show him the tail, like I mean her ass, like.
So he sent pictures of Puggles to her so that she could directly make exactly her for me. And when I received this, I love the doll of me a whole lot, but the Puggles just absolutely just oh god.
Oh yeah.
Dasha Paramanova is
the Puggles are just so it looks just like her.
She's a woman caught between bullshit between two countries, and
I love her so much.
Things changed for her very much when all that happened, and we love what she she used to always promote us and help us out, and her art is amazing. She does a lot of dolls like this.
I bought some other dolls off of her. It was like a pumpkin head doll that had like a pumpkin on it, and it's beautiful. I got it in my little cabinet over here, and it's like a little moth.
Russian art is very different from
they're beautiful.
The rest of the world.
They're different than anything I've ever seen, and she's so talented.
So we had to put that out there because we had this love from all the way across the world
for her to make a Redhead doll. But I bought like this off of her before she made the Redhead doll.
Put it up close to the lens over here.
And then the little moth.
Oh, that's cool.
And on the back, it's got this little face, like it's unique, something that nobody would ever have.
Well, see, we come from.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out from Mothman what that was from, but I didn't. That's just an original piece.
And the little face on it is incredible. Like it's
really cool,
so beautiful.
So we come from West Virginia, so Mothman is right here in Point. That's where the story originates. Is Point Pleasant, West Virginia. People getting abducted and fucked over here. It's so.
I've got a friend of mine who's got a Mothman tattoo and goes by that name.
Mothman?
Yeah.
He goes by Mothman.
I love it.
That's cool.
That is so cool.
But yeah, so like it takes us
going to the festival they have here.
It takes us 45 minutes to get to Point Pleasant.
Yeah.
That's where Mothman is.
And they got that cool museum and stuff you can go to, and they got the statue and
West Virginia, especially in like the fall and winter, is creepy as fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Cinematically.
Never been to West Virginia when it wasn't creepy as fuck. No offense.
I've never been, so
come to our basement. Come to our basement.
Oh my god, yeah.
I filmed
our basement.
You remember the city name, but I filmed in I filmed in West Virginia before, and it was a very unique experience.
I will say some towns here are.
Yeah, some towns are not. But it depends.
My favorite one. I shouldn't say this in a recording, but I'm on tour, right? We did 151 cities over the course of 2 years, and I'm in Tennessee, and we're up in we're in the mountains. We're near was it Johnstown? And we're prepping to film the scene. Yes. And we're prepping to film the scene, and the Visitors Bureau person, or the tourist person. I forget exactly what this young lady was in charge of, but she comes to me and she's like, "Yeah, you want more extras for this?" "Yes, yeah, I'd love to." And she looks me dead in the eyes, and she was serious. She wasn't joking. She's like, "Do you want them to have shoes on their feet?"
Huh?
And I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
"Excuse me?" And she's like, "No, like the majority of these people I can get you, but they're not going to be wearing shoes. Do you want me to tell them to wear shoes?" I'm just like, "It's
Oh
not
my
fair."
God.
Joe, you know how to answer. Yes, yes, wear the shoes.
But it's also so funny because a lot of people, they quote Deliverance and they make fun of West Virginia, but that motherfucker was based in Georgia.
Yeah, yeah.
You stay down there, like we're more civilized than that.
I got the lucky end of that stick. I lived in Savannah for a couple years, and outside of every single person thinking they're like a ghost tour guide, it's a very beautiful city.
Well, so speaking of Tommy, that was in Redhead,
Yeah,
he's
from Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah,
They get Evan Mackey.
Evan Mackey. Yeah.
So that's why he has that kind of southern drawl. He has that southern accent, but he's so good. Like, I mean,
Oh, he's awesome.
and he's also a nut hair's distance away from Atlanta, so he gets all these jobs.
The one that says, "In this light, your tits look fucking good." That's him. He's so great. He stayed with us actually a couple different Octobers.
He stayed with us during filming, and then he stayed with us during the premiere.
And during the premiere, and he also so me and him also worked a haunt for a long time. And so when he was working, me and Evan would go and work that haunt together.
Haunted attraction here.
Yeah, so he would come in so we could work that haunt because he loved it too.
It's a top 20 top 20 East Coast haunted attraction.
Actually won an award there too. It's kind of crazy. I won an award for Nurse Red there.
On Actress of the Year.
On Actress East of the Coast. Year. Back then, and
nobody knows that.
Well, people here know it, but even though it was a nationwide thing or whatever, not many people know that. But me and him would, whenever he was working, he would come in and stay with us, and then we'd go do that together. And he was actually pretty fun too. I mean, it was amazing with Sammy to do that and everything together. But then when Sammy, he's like, "Wow, I'm not Candy Cane, but I'll end up," because that was his name. Because I would torture Candy Cane.
There's another nice murder weapon.
Oh, it's real too.
It's coming. It's
From you
coming
guys.
to Redhead too.
We always use them real weapons.
It's a legit meat hook.
Nice.
Real meat, real everything.
I use my wedding ring to test shit out.
That's us buying our real weapons.
So we go to flea markets. So a fun thing about this, I mean, an exact replica of this is made. So this is going in somebody's neck up through their chin. And an exact replica of it's made out of PVC that's hollow and part of it's cut off, so the blood can flow through and look running and everything else. So I really enjoy taking like an exact implement, the hero object, and then making the
replica,
the safe prop.
He works hard to do that stuff.
He
works hard with everything he does with it because he really wants it to look good. He gets real passionate.
But I will say, and this is a secret from Redhead 1, Crowbar with the mayor. This is Crowbar 1 full length, which she used Crowbar a couple times in the movie, and then this is Crowbar 2. This is the
one that we used the impact on the mayor,
and we have the tip somewhere, but
So whenever I stab him,
these look pretty good.
And then his wife stabs him after I possess her to finish stabbing him, which that's kind of funny. I don't know if people catch that or not. I kind of wondered, did you guys catch that whenever I asked, "Do you want to finish this asshole off with the mayor scene?" that I was actually possessing her in some ways to want to kill him, which I know she was already mad at him, but it was kind of a possession influence.
I'm afraid I did not, but I did not watch my original version of it in a very comfortable way. So I did not get full.
So now you guys kind of know that was kind of me.
And now I'll know when I look
walk
into
off. I'm like grinning real big because I loved it that I could actually do that.
you know, when I get to enjoy a movie, to when I'm trying to enjoy a movie, well, actually, you can, you get the big TV out and
Yeah.
the thing over there. But when it's work related, oh, did I just cut out a Zoom? I don't know
No,
if you
you're
guys can still hear me
You're
because
good. You're
yeah.
good.
No, we can see you. Yeah.
well, so luckily you guys can. I have no idea what's going on. There's nothing on my screen anymore. But what I was gonna say is when it's work related, it's so often just like my laptop, this small screen that I'm working from, and I'm going through screeners. Like right now, I'm judging a festival, and I'm judging all these movies off these tiny screeners, and you miss so much
Yeah.
great aspects of it because you're watching it on this small screen and just trying to see so many movies so quickly. That's what I really feel bad about right now, and I'm finally starting to understand why so many streaming services can't talk to individual filmmakers. I used to be just a little irked, like, you guys have so much money, can't you put a team together? But I'll be honest with you, like having ran this company for just this long is so difficult because so many people reach out and you're like, look, I have to acquire so much content and I have to go
Yeah.
through so much. It's just almost, I'm not gonna say impossible, but improbable to really to get through it all.
That's why it's so special that you reach out. Like, I mean, when we get your response, I mean, it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And what you're saying resonates a whole lot with. We were at a festival, and they had watched our screener on their laptop. You know, their judges watched it on laptop, and
Oh
then
God.
when we showed up, all of a sudden it's on this big badass fucking sound system, and it's projected, and they were like, ooh, like I think we made a little mistake with the nominations,
Yeah, they
and
they realize
they
it.
acknowledge that shit because I mean
Well,
this.
this is saying if they even saw it to begin with, because I hate to admit it, but I've ran into so many festivals that I've either just attended or been involved in, and I know for a fact that film was never judged.
Well, I will
It
say
might be at the festival, but I don't think anyone on that panel even watched the movie.
I will say with this particular festival, when we showed up, girls, that were judges were walking up to her and saying, "Oh my God, it's Redhead! Holy shit!"
When they did that, I was
So
like,
they
oh.
so they did actually watch. Now another festival that's actually one of the biggest in the country right now. They didn't watch past the opening credits because the opening credits looked like final credits to them, and they thought we were a short film, so we didn't get nominated for shit.
So
But
then
we were
when we
still
get
selected.
there, the
She
girl
almost shut it off while she was playing it.
and was like, no, no, no. And she's like, what? So then when they finished it, they was like, oh my
Oh
God,
shit!
we screwed up.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, oh my
Hey, you're sorry. I'm
God.
fucking mad.
Um, and but me,
You spend
I
money
didn't
on it,
get
like I
mad,
mean,
but I understood
when,
that they didn't know. But at the same time, it was a full feature. It wasn't a short. We don't do shorts anymore. We used to do shorts.
we got into that
Nope.
festival based solely on the opening up to
So
the
that was
credits.
pretty good that we at least got on.
But then, like when they saw what, and that particular person that was assigned to like kind of selecting things actually sat through the movie with us, and at the end watched was like, holy crap! Like,
Like
my whole opinion is very different now. Like, it's just kind of wild. Like, I mean, it's hard to get the eye of somebody when they're consumed, like you're saying, overwhelmed with so much material, and you can't like you put out this thing. It's kind of like Indiegogo. You're like, oh, I can promise this, can promise this, can promise this, but then like, when it comes time to fulfill the perks, like
what's
it's like,
weird
oh my
though
God.
is that I was even up for a nomination there for that small little bit, and that was what was weird.
But they only judged her
so-
based on that opening.
So I was up for best actress just from that small little bit from the beginning to where the credits go in, and I was like, they didn't get to see all my performance
There's a whole other
until
70
now.
minutes.
Like what?
There's a whole other 70 minutes of shit to watch. I mean,
So I don't know if I would have got another one or not, but I was like, oh no.
well, yeah, what you're saying is correct. I mean,
Yes, you're right.
Well, in so many cases that you just don't even have the physical amount of time. I see a lot of relatively newer festivals where they don't realize they have to break down the math based on the amount of films that they're receiving, and they'll put together a judge panel. It'll be 3 or 4 people, but they've got hundreds of films, and
Yeah.
especially from the feature standpoint, with these being an hour and a half or so long, there's not enough time in the day for those people to be awake enough to watch that many films. And
Yeah.
they're trying to select.
it's
And
just the math is not there.
Uh,
It's still bad, but like it's, a lot of times it's an honest mistake. There has been times where I've been brought in, probably back when people knew who I was better, because even I forget who that guy am now. But when like I had a bit more successful of a career from a filmmaker standpoint, there was times where I was brought in, like as a quote unquote celebrity judge, and when I was seeing there in these films, they're like, yeah, just skim it, watch 2 or 3 minutes of it and then tell us which one you like. You don't have to watch them all. I'm like, how can I tell you out of your finalists which one I like if I'm not even going to watch them all, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I hate doing that.
that's one thing about this show that I don't know if you guys are quite aware of, but we actually have a year-end award show. And the thing is if the movie came out in 2021, 2022, 1999, if I haven't seen it until 2025, to me, that's a 2025 movie.
Fair enough.
Uh-huh.
You know, and every single person who, because I have some co-hosts who remarkably are never here, but I do have co-hosts. Go and look up the episodes with Lisa and Alan. You know who I'm talking about.
I
But
believe
the three of us
they
be
exist. We
sitting.
believe.
Oh yeah, the three of us will sit here and we'll watch every movie that I've watched for 2025, and at the end of the year, we'll talk about it. And if we think that it needs to be given an award, I mean, I got a box full of awards over there right now. I have to mail out too, but from people who won last year. But
Hey,
the
on
thing,
behalf of filmmakers who have never received awards they've won in certain festivals, thank you for getting around to it. There's a particular Best Florida Filmmaker Award I still haven't received, and it's been close to 2 years. I think they're just mad at me because I wasn't at the final award ceremony, but
Oh God.
We have had that.
We've had that. Oh, I feel bad for you.
They're like, why are you at this other festival and you're not
Feel
at
for you.
ours? And it's like, you're in 2 different states and you're 7 hours away. And
If you're already at one festival and you can't get to the other festival, you can't help it. Like,
this was literally that case. It was where I
yes,
showed up to do a day at one particular festival, and I'm at another one. I
that's what
left to go to the other
happened.
one. Like
crazy.
I couldn't be at both. I'm like, of all the things to miss, it's probably just the ceremony. Like you want me to be there when I'm actually watching the
Yes.
screeners and participating in the panels where I'm talking to your people and answering questions for them, and benefiting the people who paid to be here.
all right. Well, I will like to let you guys know that I saw Redhead in 2025. So to me, Redhead is a 2025 movie. And you guys are up for Best Director. You're up for Best Actress.
Oh my gosh.
Best kill scene, most gore scene, and my favorite, Best Cinematography. All those awards.
Well, thank you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you.
And the thing is like, there's right now, I mean, last year was relatively kind of like a medium-sized one. The one before that was really small, but we wanted to go all out this time. And of course, there's a certain person that is involved with the award show that was like, well, we got to put a drama in there. You can judge the drama. I'm going to judge the horror, and it's not my wife, but there was no way I wasn't, and you guys are up for movie of the year too. So, that all those awards, I'm almost going to guarantee.
You're going to force us to have to do a lot of typing on the B stream. They start winning more awards, and we got added to them.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just an award show from, like the NC-17 podcast, but it's my way of showing respect to you guys for doing what you do, because at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know all the awards you guys won, and I'm not pretending to say I'm, like them, but it's stuff that I thoroughly enjoy, and it's people I thoroughly 100% respect. So
Well, we appreciate that, from
We-
the bottom of our heart. Like, I mean,
Yeah, we
that's
love
something
and
that's something that
respect
nobody
you.
else does. I mean,
Yeah.
also, I did want to
Thank
make
you.
I
We
did
love you.
I did want to make sure that we mentioned Kevin Ginserowski.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are working on a scene for
And he's been
footage
so
for.
wonderful about promoting me and everything so much too. And we love him so much. Like, I
He's
mean,
very kind.
adore him.
Kevin's a gentleman.
He is so wonderful and so sweet and kind. And he's
Please write him a message and let him know. Oh, Brad can verify that he was mentioned in this, but this poor gentleman has to somehow edit this. And I think we're at 2.5 hours. And if he's only trying to have like an hour podcast, that might not make it.
Well,
Or we'll just start the podcast with this, like, hey, this is the start of it.
here's the thing. On this show here, I don't edit. So what we're
Oh,
talking here, everyone's going to see. So I was on someone's podcast. It lasted almost 8 hours. I was like, bro, I can't keep talking, man. But then, they'd bring up a movie I've seen. I was like, all right, I can keep talking, So, but my thing
there's a couple things I said when you were off camera. Should that have been there?
as long as it wasn't about me, I don't care. No.
So I actually did almost get into a story about so there was this day a certain producer had shut down a entire bowling alley for us to go bowling. Funny part is, I wasn't even aware, like, oh, you're a billionaire. Of course, when you invite people to go bowling, you shut the whole bowling alley down. I had no clue. I'm literally like talking to this guy. It's weird that there's not a bunch of people on a Thursday. Like, you'd think there would be bowling leagues. He's like, why would there be a bowling league here? I'm like, because it's a bowling alley. And he's like, yeah, but I rented it. I'm like, oh, that's what happens. But then I looked around because there was people there, and it's like, oh, there's Bill Engvall, and there's Matt Lillard, and Christina Ricci, and Cedric the Entertainer, and I'm just like, oh, so you just call up like random celebrities, be like, hey, let's go bowling today, and we were talking about Christina, and when you got up, I started to tell him like I was gonna tell this story, and I got like 2 sentences into it, and thank God something happened because I'm like, well, that story should not go on the screen.
I will say though, there's a certain aspect to when I have different guests on, because I try to pinpoint exactly, like where something should go and how it should end and stuff like that. But I always get wrapped up in everything, and it never goes the way I want it to go, which is awesome.
Right.
It's not gonna go that way because I got something to tell you.
Go ahead. Okay.
We're all waiting. He's like, that is the punchline.
we haven't talked much about Redhead 2.
Yeah, we talked somewhat about
not
there's 19 spoilers you gave away on Redhead 2.
Oh no, there's more.
Just here, let me read the script for you. Okay, starting on page 1.
Oh my!
Let's talk about the Indiegogo.
Now that you need to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Indiegogo for Redhead 2. Questions about that?
Well, tell us about some of the perks you got. Like, that's the big thing. Like, when we're going to invest money, we want to know about the perks. So let us know, like, what are some cool, unique things that are connected to Redhead people can buy?
All right, Brad, you're going to be one of my co-hosts now.
I can make a pop in.
So one of the coolest things that's been really popular, and it's been pretty cheap, we had 2 different levels of, because hell is such a big deal in this movie, the background voices in hell and featured background voices in hell have been between $30 and $50. Those have sold really well. Basically, a background voice in hell is you're sending me your voices of being either a tortured soul or being a demon, whatever you want. Nothing's off limits. You say whatever you want. You scream it. You can cry it. You can be whatever you want.
You can cuss. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can say the most horrible shit ever. You can get arrested for it, and not 43 states. But I don't care. I want it in my email box, and all that stuff meshes together. And I want this big kind of drowning, like massive thing of hell, just like people suffering and people torturing, like it.
And then there's the other voice, which actually they say, and I interact with it.
Well, that sold recently. DK Life bought that.
It's really cool though.
So it's kind of funny how the voice thing has been such a big seller. But there's also really cool other things. For example, we have on there black canvases where she takes paint and puts it on her boobs and makes paintings. Like you can buy paintings.
You can buy Redhead's boob.
Put something on social media about that, didn't you? Like
and it was not that popular.
Actually, it wasn't that popular before we went streaming, and now we had people that said we want that again. So would you sell that again now that we saw the movie out on streaming? So I was like, oh yeah. So we went and bought the stuff so we could do it.
I mean, associate producer has been a very popular thing because it ranges between 75 and $150, but depending on the package you get.
Mm-hmm.
You can
And
FaceTime
that's
this
super
lady.
affordable. For
What's that?
anyone who has not been to Indiegogo's before or doesn't do much crowdfunding, a associate producer credit on any film for only 75,
Yes.
$100 is extremely cheap. So if you're trying to build your IMDb credits, uh, grab that. Like $100, so AP credit, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I mean we're ranked pretty high on IMDb, and
Yeah.
you know, we've got a large cast they're all ranked really well. We have you can FaceTime this lady. You can get some time to like actually FaceTime and talk to her. There were a lot of kills to be killed on set, and those have sold out, and those people will be dying generously.
Mhm.
Actually, Ryan Denning from Terrifier 2 is going to be dying in the most horrific way
The
uh,
worst way.
because he supported Redhead 1 and Redhead 2, and so
Is that cell phone guy? I can't remember who that is off the top.
he's at the bar party. He's like kind of an extra in Terrifier 2, but he is partaking in a death scene in Redhead 2 that this type of death has been done before. It's a classic torture.
It's a torture.
A
severe torture.
It's a what do they call it? Elimination execution.
Execution style. One of the most horrendous horror ways to die.
But it's just never been depicted
back in the
close
old
enough.
days, like the old torture days.
It's not been shown close enough for my taste, and we're gonna get like, you remember Rotten.com?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be kind of like that.
Like that,
and
yeah.
It's
The worst.
in the
the worst.
The horrible thing is that we've been studying some real stuff, and I mean it's a bad place to go as a
having
film.
to do that, but you have to.
But it's not a place I'd like to be. But
We're both studying that all the time, just so that it looks so realistic and
the thing about real,
terrifying.
Real bodies don't look as real as cinematic bodies. Like, what is that? I mean, it's kind of messed up when you actually see real stuff versus cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the lack of blood in a real body that kind of.
And it depends on we realize that it depends on if the body is dehydrated at the time of death or whether they were not dehydrated at the time of death.
The bodies get so stiff, and they just a real body looks far more fake than the movie body. It really does.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of creepy when it kind of creeps me out. So you can also there's a perk where you can pay to come and have dinner with us and hang out and chill. And I know that would have to be like an Uber fan. There's 8x10s on there. There's lots of posters. There's DVD, Blu-ray deals, all the basic stuff. I mean, but there's also like some ultra producer stuff like executive and big
the big
fish deal.
The big fish is a big deal.
You can basically just get kind of red carpet, like and like anything. If you have the means to travel, like you can come here and just hang out, be like part of premiering. You can hang out with us during a scene or whatever if you have the time and means to travel.
You can like be a part of it.
You get
part of the scene.
You get everything we're offering. You get paintings, whatever you want. Movies.
Yeah, claim it, posters. Whatever you want with it.
I mean, and then there's thank you credits. There's that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's here's a really cool one. I mean, and this also pertains to getting film credits. Buying blood for the movie. The blood bank.
The blood bank.
You get a blood bank credit. $25 to buy a gallon of blood. Because it's roundabout what it takes me to make a gallon of blood. And so you get a special effects credit in the movie. And so you become a blood bank credit.
Some of the blood bank people that we had before that helped us, that's what helped make the bloodbath scene in the tub, because he had to make so much blood. I had to fill the whole tub up, and he wanted to make it by hand so that it looked real, and then make the body parts and the skin and everything that was in that scene look so good. So that was a blessing what we got from people before, because we was able to get a whole bathtub full of that stuff and do a cool scene in the blood bath.
I can't remember all the perks we got, but there's lots of great like stuff to just be involved, like get a credit. Um, especially the voice stuff. I mean, the voice stuff is really easy. I might need to actually up the amount of people that can do that because if I can get like 50 voices, and we're already it's like 25, I think, people that have got background voices, and including my own and hers. And then parents have even bought voice credits for their babies, like they're like, and where
So the babies can cry.
So there's baby crying in hell.
Mm-hmm.
And how fucking cool is that?
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I said, we don't have any lines. I mean, it's hell. Like, I mean, we're literally depicting hell.
Mm-hmm.
And Satan makes fun of her for not being able to have a kid in the movie. Meanwhile, throwing a skinned corpse of Puggles onto her while she's being ripped apart by demons.
Mhm.
And that's leverage when you're trying to convince somebody they don't want to be in hell anymore, so she's going to do what we want. And
What's great about it though is even though that I'm demon possessed and I'm a villain, I still have some trauma there that kind of makes her feel, or when you watch her, it makes her feel like she's really vulnerable still and has to do things she doesn't want to do, and you still feel kind of sorry for her, but at the same time she's back at having to go back to be her crazy self as a demon now.
Well, and here's the ultimate kick in the nuts. At first, the devil that comes talking to her while she's held down, getting cut open, the devil that comes talking to her is her dead husband that was killed by Oscar in the first movie. So her dead husband's coming to her and talking to her.
And then you also have the wife that I killed that you like so much with the scalping. She's back in it in
Hell's Whorehouse.
She's serving drinks and intimidating me in hell also with her scalp gone. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
She's going to be in the shower for a long time.
Oh, man, the shower for a long time.
I'm just saying.
That's badass.
She might lose some hair over it. I mean,
no.
Well, no. Why do you think I'm bald?
Hey, I can be bald because the makeup is in my hair that gets glopped. But I'm not.
Okay, so somebody the other day, and I know that people will be watching this. Somebody asked the other day, not only how long did it take to do your Hag Witch makeup, but how long did it take to get off?
Oh, well, the Hag Witch makeup took about 4.5 hours to get it as I was standing
so
the whole time.
And we started filming at 4 a.m.
And then to get it off, I'd say probably a little over an hour and a half. But it still was there because all that was in my hair too, still, so that he could just make squigs of my hair just come out. So the next day I had to go back again the next morning and scrub like whatever was left, and you have to use basically oil like banana boat tanning oil to get that stuff off, or it's not going to come off because he uses a lot of different things to do the makeup with, and gets kind of crazy where it stains on you sometimes and stuff, but it's worth it. And then with the demon hybrid scene, it took me about an hour to get it off. And
it's a lot of alcohol-based airbrush makeup, full body, and then covered in gelatin and latex and everything else.
Yeah, it was so many layers too, and it took about 4 hours.
Her hair had nothing but gelatin and toilet paper and all kinds of shit caked in, and she had real earthworms on you. Like,
yeah, I had the real earthworms. I wanted real earthworms on me as I was coming out of the ground, so that you could see them crawling on me as I was coming. You can kind of see that in the trailer that they're crawling and stuff on me.
That's a classic 80s Jason 6 thing.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. That's badass.
If she's coming out of the ground, she's going to have worms on her because she's coming out of the ground, and the soil, the layers of soil that she's pulling through, she's going to have that.
Fun fact, she was officially naked in our backyard in the middle of town.
In front of everybody. Yeah. and it was so cold.
And I sent pictures of it to the mayor, and he was like, if anybody complains, I'll be there immediately to.
So that whole demon hybrid scene, not I was naked with
She
the
was her
hashtag,
her
but
tits were covered
I
with
was more
effects,
covered, but I was
but her
less.
ass was bare.
Yeah, I was less covered with the demon hybrid because I actually was fully naked. The only thing covering me was this small little bit of stuff right here.
Prosthetics.
Then my ass was fully. It just had a little bit of some of the airbrush on it, so it was fully out. So in the scene, everybody will see my ass. But I said, she's a reborn demon. She's got to be naked because you're not going to have clothes on when you're coming out of the ground as a rebirth. So I was willing to do that.
Gotta be naked.
Yeah, it's like you gotta be naked to be a reborn demon hybrid.
Well, every baby's crotch has been seen by somebody.
Yeah, and she was reborn, so that's what I wanted for her character.
I'm actually gonna get ready to. We're coming to the end of the show, so I'm gonna give you guys the floor to plug your socials, where people can see the movie, where they can reach out to you if you want them to reach out to you or not. The floor is yours. Plug whatever you guys want to plug.
So, first and foremost, Indiegogo, search Redhead 2. We have so many things on there for you to become a part of the film and be involved. We really need, we're spending a lot of money on effects, silicone, latex, gelatin, plastic foam, all kinds of shit. And we're trying our best to make it as violent as we can. And price tag is pretty low considering the stuff we're trying to do. Second, you can, if you want to friend each one of us on Facebook, you can come and see us. Johnna Hodge, Sam Hodge. You can interact with us on Facebook. You'll be able to see it. I'm standing in my Christmas bulb underwear on my Facebook profile, and she's got something cute.
I got my headshot on there.
She's adorable.
It's Johnna, Johnna Hodge.
You can do that, and then Instagram, Cinesavage Films is one, and actress Johnna Hodge on Instagram.
And I've been really bad about using Instagram, but I'm starting now to get better about it. I've been using Facebook too much, but if you're on there and follow me, I'll follow you back.
And also too,
immediately.
As far as watching our proof of what we've done, we are on the B stream and Tubi with Redhead. Also, we're on Tubi with Reunion from Hell 1 and 2. So you can see our past work there as well.
And we also have on Shorts TV, we have Conversation with the Devil.
Conversation with the Devil. It's good. It's a good short film.
It's been a big.
It's also on YouTube, I think.
Is it on YouTube also now?
So. And then also another really cool thing is this has not been revealed, but the record company that is releasing the soundtrack for Redhead is Klaatu Records. Klaatu, Verata, Niktu. Cody Perkins reached out, and Redhead soundtrack is getting a physical release, not just on streaming media, but so we do have that physical thing, and they are trying to get the first 100 discs to be blood red. CD. Not limited people have CD anymore, but it's cool that the soundtrack is out there.
And they are talking about later going to records, so that'll be really cool too.
Based on sales.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah, that's the pitch.
We just love you guys so much.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. I'd keep you guys on all night, but my wife's like, dinner's almost done, and
bless her heart, I understand that stuff.
Dinner's almost done. What time is it?
Yeah.
Well, they just got back from grocery shopping about an hour ago, so she had to cook and everything. So
bless her heart.
I'm not knocking her. This is my lunchtime.
That's like me cooking dinner. She'll tell you, I take my time.
Let her know I appreciate her so much for all the love she gave me too.
Also, hang on.
Pause for beer.
Mad Monster in North Carolina, we met a glass blower that was selling our art, And this heart glass is fucking cool. It's got a glass straw.
Oh, and this too.
And it's and her necklace is
a real glass heart.
glass blown heart necklace.
That's really
so.
cool.
That's awesome.
I just wanted to put that out there because I mean, how cool is it to drink beer out of that?
That is awesome.
$50, it better be cool.
Brad, go ahead and plug your socials and plug your B stream, or as you said earlier, Brad stream. No, I'll just play your B stream.
The B stream you guys can find anywhere, thebstream.com. Whether you're on Apple or Android like me, just go to your app stores, do thebstream.com. We're on all the social medias, of course, once again, thebstream.com, on from Facebook to Instagram. Actually, I think on Facebook is the only one that's not correct. It's the B Stream official. Everyone else is just the B Stream, be it TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth. If you feel like following me personally, it's the real Brad Lyon on Instagram, and the rest of them, of course, is Brad Leo Lyon. Easiest way to find me on all those things, though, is just go to bradleolyon.com, and all those links will be provided.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to thank all of you guys for coming on. It's been a phenomenal episode. I normally don't get up to go use the restroom, get something to drink, or anything like that, so I do apologize about that.
I did it too.
John, I did it too. I told him I had to take a pee stream instead of a B stream.
I mean, in your defense, my friend, this has been a 2-hour and 45-minute podcast. I'm sure a lot of people have to pee.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed on the background it started playing another movie, and I was like, nope, not supporting him.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, nope.
Oh, yeah.
What's he doing?
It's playing Redhead again.
Yeah, we actually got halfway through it for the second time. It was playing behind you guys. I watched most of the movie again.
Yeah, it's playing Redhead again.
But yeah, I seriously want to thank you guys. You know, it's all respect and love for what you guys do, and unfortunately, I have to thank you, Brad, because now you're going to take more money out of my pocket and make my wife less happy. So thank you.
Well, use I met Brad, all capitals, one word, and get 50% off. That way,
right.
There's so many codes you can use to get like a savings on that, man. That's like it's a great platform. I'm subscribed to it. I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, and I thought Plex was good because Plex had a lot of like older horror films. B-Stream is amazing, man.
I appreciate that. We work really hard at finding the best films we possibly can. Typically, we're helping the best people we can. That's really important to us. And the thing is, you're going to get your money's worth. Not to attack Shudder, what have you. I like Shudder. I'm a fan. I subscribe to all my competitors.
But they're unreachable.
You know? But one great example is, according to AI, and when you Google it, they released 30 movies on their service, this past year, and that's what they average. So far since we've launched, we're averaging just shy of 3 movies a week. So, I mean, you are going to get some good content coming here, and it's from great filmmakers, whether it's a classic film or guys like you guys who put out Redhead. It's all good movies, movies we actually looked at and reviewed, not just a big pile of movies we got from one distributor who said, here, buy this library.
That's the thing about Shudder. I mean, like, they're not easy to reach, and that's the difference between you and you guys. Better get on B-Stream before like that becomes unreachable, because I think you're going to be
on some level. We'll try never be truly unreachable, even when we get to the point where it's going to be like handcuffed and we've got so many submissions, because that's what this was supposed to be about. It was supposed to be a community. That's why when you go on the app, it literally has the word community, or if you go on the bstream.com, it has the word hive. You click on there and you get to interact. You get to post, what you like, what you're looking for, what you'd love us to have more of, suggestions for it. And we've actually added features, and that's not cheap, mind you, but we've added features that, our people have asked for. So we're trying our best, but we really could use the support. We need more support.
Yes.
We can afford it.
Yes.
Yes.
Also, hey, you didn't mention the free t-shirts that are coming out if people fucking join up.
Yes, for the next week, we're doing a promotion where if we get 100 new annual subscribers, and you can find this through through my Facebook. You can find it through the fan page on our Facebook for the B Stream. But if we get 100 new annual subscribers, everyone gets a free T-shirt. Take a look at it. It's a really fun anti-killer Karen or anti-Karen T-shirt,
Big
which
titties and hate.
we're about. You got it. And here's the cool part: even if you're a subscriber, if we reach 300 new, and that could be monthly or annual, every single member, everyone's gonna get a free T-shirt. So
I want a shirt, fuckers.
yeah, please help me give out shirts.
Brad, I do want to mention a movie that I can't find nowhere.
Oh, tell me.
It's a Eric Estrada horror movie called
Okay.
Spirits.
Spirits?
Yes,
Okay.
it's got Michelle Bauer in it too.
Oh, no kidding.
No.
So I will make note of that right now. But if you do happen to subscribe, like you're talking about, click on the Hive, and literally right when you go there, it's just like a Facebook or something. It's like social media. You get to add your pictures or any content. Please let us know. Like post the movie there too, because I have a very small team, and not just me will be looking for it, but my team will try and find the distributor, the rights, see if it's possible to license, and you'll have 3 or 4 people actually actively out there beyond just me trying to see if we can acquire it.
All right. Yeah.
And it's people all over the world. We've got people who help work for us all the way in Spain. We like our IT guys in Brazil. I just had a meeting today with Abby, who's in Minnesota. So we're employing people everywhere.
Josh, Brad, thank you all so much for everything you do.
Yeah, we
That's all I
love
got
you
to
so
say.
much and appreciate you with all we have.
And guys, for that record, when you guys watch something like the Redhead, or pardon me, when you watch Redhead on the B Stream, every time it's watched, there's money going to these filmmakers. If you rent the movie, if you buy the movie, that money's actually going to go to the filmmakers too. It's not just a bunch of money in my pocket, and we're happy to show this. Like, we are a revenue stream for the people who license us. It's real paychecks that go out there.
He's not lying. I got the contract to prove it.
I mean, that's awesome. So I want to say each of you have been phenomenal. Some of the best people in conversation I've had the pleasure of talking to in my entire life, and that's not a lie.
Yeah, sweet.
Brad, you kind of remind me, don't take this the wrong way, of Samoa Joe.
Okay, I'll take that. Ironically, I always get a kick out of these things because when I was doing the American Road Trip, which was the name of the series, for part of a season, because I was wearing these Hawaiian shirts, they made me have a man bun. Everyone actually thought I was Samoan. I was like,
Were you supposed to be like man versus food? Like, was that the goal?
So we were getting a lot of that type of concept, and for us, it wasn't as heavily food oriented. That wasn't the initial intent. It was to show like places to go, and when you go to this town or this city, you check out this bar, check out this nightclub. These are the best spots in each of these towns. But let's be real, the majority of people cared about was the food, and that's probably was half the episode.
We care about the food, the atmosphere, and can we sit down and have a 3-hour experience versus a 30-minute experience?
Amen.
Do we want to sit down and hang out? Like, I mean, that's the chill, you know.
You want to feel like you're eating at home when you go out to the restaurant.
And also, can we lure someone into hitting on her so we can kill them?
Oh my gosh, no, we don't want that.
Why kill them? Let them pay. Be like, hey,
No.
I buy you around.
I will say this has been my longest episode, which I thoroughly enjoyed. So there's not going to be no complaints from me. And everyone, I
Made it
know.
this far. Thank you very much for being interested in us, for finding us interesting enough that you just gave us 3 hours of your life. We think the world of you. So viewers, thank
Yes, we love you to death.
I do want to say though, for when Redhead 2 comes out, I'm in Michigan. So the horror community
Roseville,
up
right?
here. Huh?
Roseville?
Yep.
Nice, very cool. I know a little bit about Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Good salmon.
I did come from the murder capital of the world, after all. Do you know where that's at?
Last time I heard it was Detroit, but I don't know.
Flint, Michigan, where even the water will kill you.
Oh, yep.
Pew.
Been
I
there a
can make
couple
that joke.
times.
I'm the director of Don't Drink the Water.
But yeah, when Redhead 2 Deadhead comes out, I will definitely be purchasing a physical copy of it, and I will definitely be getting it seen in a large theater in MJR up here. I've already talked to the people. They said whenever it comes out, just let us know and we'll set it up. So your film will be seen up here, and any proceeds that come from the ticket sales are going straight to you guys.
Oh, that's
Oh
awesome.
my god.
Well, a caveat to that:
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
you invite us up to attend, and you're on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Double so.
it's an open invite. I'll sleep on
Yeah.
my floor. You can sleep on my bed with my wife.
Well, all right. There's bonus perks for this relationship, eh?
Yeah. Talk about your own Indiegogo there.
Oh,
But
and
no,
yes,
it's
speaking of which, you said you have a movie you're working on. Why don't you tell us what you've got going on? And are you launching an Indiegogo?
we're not quite there yet, but we will be shortly. Because so
You're
real
casting
quick,
right now, right?
huh?
Casting right now, right?
Yep.
What are you
Uh,
casting for? Tell us the title.
the name of the movie is called Not There. It is a supernatural slasher. It's about this group of friends go to this haunted house to film their experiences to try to win a cash prize of $2,000. And what they don't know is one of them gets possessed, starts killing everybody, and all hell breaks loose. And there's tons of blood. And I even kind of took a little bit of inspiration from certain movies, Redhead, I ain't naming none, but to where there's one very, very gratuitous death scene, and it is the first one. So it kind of sets the precedence of the whole movie. So
Hence Terrifier, because that's probably one of the things that kept me around for that movie was that
What?
one great kill, and probably because I didn't like that actress very much. So one great kill of an actress.
If I can offer a tip, if you're gonna begin it badass, you gotta seal it badass.
oh yeah.
So figure out that closing kill, man. Like I mean, people are gonna stick around, and if you drop them like with limp dick and blue balls, they ain't gonna like it.
Right.
I don't
See?
see him doing that though. I think he's going to end up giving
So-
a great.
Your final kill,
Ending.
your final kill has to be as good as or built up to be better than the first, or whatever. You have to end this on a high note.
All right.
You gotta do that.
Well, here's
That means don't have the shower scene of Terrifier 3 in the middle of the movie.
well,
Right.
we actually have a 15-year-old. I can't really talk about it. We have a teenager who's going to be cast as one of the characters, and we're kind of keeping that a surprise a little bit now that it's going to be out. Damn, I need to learn how to shut up. But
Hey, look, you still have control of this. You can put a bleep and a little word censored over your mouth. It's cool. People will be entertained by it. Blame this guy. You don't get to hear it because this guy just suggested that.
but so originally I started it out as a short. 2 years ago, I wrote it was just going to be a short movie. And I was like, everyone says you got to start out short, start out short. I'm the type of person I like to break the mold,
I started out with a feature.
Huh?
I started with a feature.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's called 12 Pole back in 2017. That was his first feature.
I shot my whole thing on a cell phone, and I got worldwide distribution from a shitty distributor. But they took a lot of fucking money. They took a lot of fucking money off me. But
That's good you're starting with a feature because that's the best way to go. Yeah.
just follow your heart, man. Like just
Yes. I'm glad to see he's following his heart.
ride it out.
Does
It's
that
actually gonna
Roseville
be a
Theater
trilogy.
still exist?
Huh?
Does that Roseville Theater still exist? The one from 1927?
Nah, they just closed. Well, so that theater was open until I think 2010. Then they turned it into a church, and then they recently closed it. So
Oh, that's too bad. That would have been a beautiful location. It's one of those classic, like, one of those Ritz theaters, where you got one or two, screens. I don't know how many they had.
Oh,
But I love marquee
You
theater
got something.
towns. I can't see it. Is it chair? You're little on my screen right now, so I think there's dots. I did see your nostrils really well, though.
Got big ones.
But yeah,
Well,
it's
the angle, like coming back up from the chair, was just like right under your nose.
it started out as a short, but I turned it into a trilogy. So it's
All right.
Well, your
Same
story,
number of pages though.
if your story is not bigger than its movie, it's not a story. I mean, because you have to have beginning elements that aren't included in your original film, and you have to have surrounding elements. Where does this thing end? Whether you would tell the story to people or not, those things surrounding it have to exist. Her background exists that people don't really see, but it's there and in the actual acting. So you have to have that background, and that sells the story. Whether people see it or not doesn't fucking matter. Like you got prequel that doesn't exist, and then you've got 4 or 5 movies down the line in your head. Those don't exist. But all that matters is telling this right now here in this moment in time, and that's where you should be at, man. You're on the right path.
Yes, he's on the right path with it. Yeah.
You should be thinking about the future, the past, everything surrounding what led to this and what's coming after. But it doesn't matter what's coming next because you're telling the story here now.
And if you do it in an effective manner, and I'm going to give a shout out to a mainstream movie that just came out. I know they're like, hey, this is an indie, but Sinners just released, and it was, in my eyes, a masterpiece. And one of the beautiful things that they created in there was you didn't just care about the characters, but the life and the environment that they made, the atmosphere that they created. Here I am, a horror guy, and I was willing to go back and watch the prequel drama of what happened in these people's lives early that got them here because you care so much about their story right now. That's why that act structure is so important. It's why Act One has to make you give a crap about the character, because if you don't care about the character, you don't care what's happening in this conflict over here in Act Two, and you sure the hair don't care about the climax.
Yeah.
So if you create it right, then you care about the stories that made these people who they are. You know,
It makes you ask questions. And I saw where Sinners is released in IMAX, like they were doing like the whole big thing.
and see it in IMAX, because I'll tell you, I didn't. I'll probably go back and see it in IMAX, and I don't do that often.
I saw the process.
It was so beautiful. It was shot. It was gorgeous. It's literally a different version of Dusk Till Dawn. So if you love Dusk Till Dawn, you're gonna love this movie.
I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen a trailer, but I did see a reel today of them actually like winding all the film up and rolling it out, and it's this fucking massive amount of film, and they're just rolling it through all the rollers and getting it projected and getting it. IMAX is insane.
Yeah.
Like the amount of work. They said it takes about 45 minutes to get a film prepped to show audiences, and that's with skilled people. Like, I mean, wrapping the film around and making sure it's like rolling out and all this stuff.
Which is such a special thing because of that actual release, because quite often you can release on IMAX with a digital DCP that has an original hard 4K master. So like
that kind of defeats the purpose, though, you know.
I don't necessarily disagree, but I mean that's why, you know, when you go to a normal theater, your master can actually be a 2K DCP. We do
2K DCP when we show in like a real theater, and we do 7 channels. We do that whole thing. We found that
it's smashed on streaming. We're sorry, there's none of us that can do anything about it.
Yeah, I wish we could invite everyone to our home and watch it in 5.1 because
it's so amazing here too. It's like being in the theater.
You'll never see it like you see it in our trash heap.
Well, it's a horror trash heap.
It's just there's just film shit everywhere.
It's film. Like, it's like you walk in and you got all these 80s horror like stuff we've collected throughout the years everywhere, and then you've ended up getting
all of the killer clown stuff.
Got in the whole other room. We've got like our award shelf, like Redhead shelf. Then you go into the dining room. That's where I don't have a dining room anymore. The dining room is a collection of nothing but stuff for the movie. The whole dining room. We got our movie room, his editing room. It's nothing but effect stuff and movie gear
equipment
and
piled up.
equipment piled up like it's.
There's nothing glory about it.
This is a movie house. It's what it is.
House of ill refute.
Crazy.
All right, man. Hey, go.
We need to let him go.
Yeah, go have your dinner. That was 3 hours late.
Hey,
yeah, man.
it's
We're
all
at 3
good.
hours now, right?
Yeah, we're at 3 hours and 3 minutes.
Go eat.
Yeah.
I don't like odd numbers, so we got to talk for a couple more. No, just playing.
But let me ask this question. I'm just kidding.
Tell your wives I love them and I appreciate them for caring so much.
It's been a pleasure spending these 3 hours with everybody.
Go ahead, Sam. You said you had a question.
I was kidding.
Yeah,
Oh, no, don't kid. Ask me a
I
question.
was joking about keeping you
I
longer.
might have to get the whip out again.
Hey,
we're gonna have a whole news sequel with your wife coming killing all of us.
Hang on.
No.
He's stripping again.
Right.
What the heck?
Here we go. You get this.
Oh, give me that thing. Oh,
We have to hit him again.
So that's how you end. That's how you end.
All right, I will let you guys go. Brad, you've been phenomenal. I'm going to subscribe. My wife's going to kill me, so thank you.
Oh, hey, let her know. So we're not just horror. We do have other films. We have some movies I think she'll enjoy. We just released oh my gosh, all the Star Wars people are about to kill me. 5/25/77. People didn't even know this was a Star Wars movie, so check that out. She'll enjoy it.
Hey, does that have nudity?
It should, because every movie should.
But does it?
You know what? There's actually a scene or two that might come pretty darn close if it doesn't.
That's what
All
people
right.
want to hear. They always ask about hers.
I respect people too much to even ask, so I'm good.
Thank you for that. Well,
Damn Michigan people.
Trust me, I'm probably like one of the only people up here who actually have that kind of respect. Because if I had the rest of my crew here, they'd be like, "Oh man, we need it," and I'm like, "Yeah, slow you up."
hey, giant titties and nipples. There you go.
Above this line in my hand
rolls.
is a bunch of pretty polite Michigan people. They're also the people that will skin you alive. And then below here's the people that are living in mostly a war zone, especially this half.
Salamis are balonies.
He's talking about salami titties.
I just want to eat some salami.
It takes a lot to cover them.
He was looking at me.
All right, but Sam, Johnna, you guys have been phenomenal. Keep up the good work. We're going to keep watching no matter. Well, I'm keep watching. I'm pretty sure Brad's going to keep watching. And I know my wife is going to keep watching because she's invested into the character. And for that, I want to thank you because you guys brought us closer in the horror genre, if that makes sense.
One last thing.
Oh, he still got his pants on. He's got to take those off too. I like the fact that there's something on your shelf that just has a big open mouth behind you. It looks like it's giving oral.
Let me see.
You, Josh. It's Josh.
Oh.
Look over on your right. It's on your right if you're looking at him, his left.
Oh,
See, yeah, the big mouth.
Oh.
You got to tell me your penis goes in that at some point.
No, that's the clown house from It.
Oh no!
Now I have to move that.
Oh,
Thank
no.
you.
Am I hot now?
Are you hot now?
That I remember that from the movie.
I thought you meant.
Oh yeah. That's awesome. But I do want to thank you guys for coming on. I tell everybody, once you've been on NC-17, you have a home with us. And now I feel like you guys are my family, so you guys are more than welcome on the show anytime. Next time, we'll try to break the limit of like 6 hours. I'm cool with that.
Let me know ahead of time so I can send some text because while we've been sitting here, I snuck a couple out. Sorry, I know I'm supposed to be there, but I'm not. I got nothing for you.
Well, it's all right because everyone who's been auditioning for the film that we're doing has some of them have sent in their auditions, and I'm like, okay, but the deadline ain't until next Saturday, so I got a little bit of leeway.
Hey, I'm gonna say this, and this is just a personal belief, okay? But
Hmm.
I have probably cast, I mean, not just my own stuff, probably 100 and a quarter films, TV episodes, what have you. The people who got in the earliest are the ones you want to lean on. Don't select the ones who got in on the deadline unless it's just they blow you away. Because those people who rushed it in, they passionately care. I know there's circumstances, but trust me, 95% of the time, the people who got it to you the quickest are the people who will be there. They'll be on time. They'll be the last to leave. They're the people you'll be able to count on. The people who get it in at the deadline or a little after and ask for a little more time, they'll be the first ones who will cancel on you, who won't be able to show up, will change your schedule. I wish it wasn't the case. I know a bunch of people are going to write some hate mail to me, but statistically, 100 plus some films of doing casting, including TV episodes, 90 to 95% of the time, it's held true.
Oh yeah, no, I'll definitely take that. Trust me. Any advice I can get, I'm going to take. So,
I wish it wasn't the case, but it does help because you can narrow it down. You can, unless you look at everyone, but only the ones that blow you away in the second half of casting get moved to the callback. The first round people is the people you want to give a lot of love to. You really want to believe in because they put the extra effort to make it a priority to get it to you in time.
all right. Uh, I'm definitely going to take that advice, and trust me, I'm going to use it.
Okay.
uh,
Get your dinner, sir.
Yeah,
all
let's
right.
go.
I need all three of your guys' shirt sizes so I can get you some free NC-17 shirts.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Uh,
Thank you.
Large.
Small.
Fattest size you have?
I can go all the way up to 5X.
I can do that.
All right. Next time I place an order, because trust me, for some reason, where I work at, everyone wanted to buy a shirt. I was like, why
Oh,
does
that's
it?
very cool.
But all it
Thank
took was
you.
because I actually got one of the guys to come on to my show, and now everyone's like, "Oh, we want a shirt." I went, "Okay." So, but no. So I'll definitely get those out next time I place an order. I'll get those for you guys. I want to thank you guys again. Brad, like I said, phenomenal. We're going to definitely subscribe to your B stream probably tonight. Gotta have dinner and kind of persuade my wife, hey, I'm gonna spend $7. She'll be like, what's it on? I'll be like, movies. So she'll be like, then I'm buying a book. Okay, cool.
And reminder, this will be movies for her too, because we do have some dramas, we have some comedies. When you play your guys' game of trade on and off, she'll be able to find some stuff she'll enjoy on there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Because I want to
Definitely.
make a service for everyone, not just me. It is about B movies, but B movies are comedies and action films, adventure. B movies can be anything.
B
Oh, yeah.
plus movies.
Yes, that was the I love the quote from Wynorski, Jim who made Chopping Mall. He's like, I give the B stream an A plus. I was like, oh, love it.
Sam and Johnna, you guys phenomenal. Like I said, keep doing what you're doing. You guys are trailblazers in the horror genre. I truly believe this. And I would say the sky's the limit, but I think we already know that you've pushed the limits and the boundaries, and that's always a good thing. So
They don't play in the sky, they play in the dungeons, my friend.
there you go.
When you own a dungeon, it's better.
I normally end the show with saying everyone stay NC-17, but I want to end this one a little bit differently. So everyone who's watching the show, men precisely, excessively men, if you're watching the show or you do watch the show, pay close attention, be nice to people because you might just get a chainsaw or a knife right up your asshole.
Yeah.
True.
All right, everybody. Talk to you later.
Love you guys.
Take care, everyone.